Yeah, but we take all that.
That's not funny.
No, I know. Yeah.
Oh, he's not.
Good.
I did. Oh, he's going. He likes to draw fast. Yeah, right. Yeah, they get trainings all the time. They're the scientists now. Yeah. Jamie, I'd love to see if there's a picking post in the area. So, yeah. I saw to see if there's something local. And I kind of skim through the machines and try. Yeah, it's fine.
Alright, it's 6 o'clock. June 8th, we're going to call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Here.
Here. Bruce.
Here.
Dunn.
Here.
Wes.
Here.
And stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
the village president report. If you have any questions, if you've read it already, I drove the village roads and had several meetings with our DPW foreman mates and with our DPW worker Nick regarding 2026 road project plans that were made in March and April. I wasn't aware of any. And then we started making plans for 2026 road projects. Also have REI, along with Nate and Nick, to go over road plans already in the works. It was really helpful to have Josh from REI meet Nate and Nick for the first time, and we're able to collaborate on some road projects, bringing together the village from them. Research some solutions for a new village website. Bruce and I attended one meeting. We're trying to set up another one, so we have 2 quotes. The 3M road agreement expired in 2019. We're able to execute a new 2026 agreement that is more favorable for the village. Met with Keith Roosh and Bruce down at the Brook Hall to start the process of locating the TID documents. Met with NTC's Dean Greg Sawuski about possibly planting crops on an unused acreage on Falcon. Nate's agreeable with that. He said it would actually save them time and money, so that'll be just in the talks of that. And then we had a lot of DNR reports come up too that Jamie, Michael, and I were able to work on together and get those submitted. And there's a couple more that are still pending that Michael's working on. The Finance Committee report, we don't have that at this time. Here is the Public Works report sent in by our Public Works Department. I can tell you that this is the short list. These guys are very busy. By the time I tell them there's something going on, they're on it or they've got it fixed. Anybody have any questions about the Public Works report? This is also the report from Michael for the wastewater treatment facility. Anyone have any questions from Michael? We'll move on to the treasurer's report. Any questions about the treasurer's report or about the budget comparison detail?
I have a couple of questions about one.
You sure?
Yeah, I just, because you may have to lose some process or whatever, just 5 or 6 accounts, I just had a question. I got it.
I got a couple too, but they'll come up on and we'll do that.
Here's the clerk's report. You can tell Jamie's been very busy. Going through zoning files, trying to find some 2026 budget documentation, creating budget reports, which are super helpful. And catching up on HRA payments, working with the workforce and getting that up to date. Later I will talk about personnel policy. She's working on operating procedures for how-tos and how-to guides. Any questions on the clerk report?
Jamie, did you put that on your laptop?
We have a lot of IT issues. I have another call set with workforce to try to get everything out of the laptop. Because it did not work this morning, whatever, but macros, and it just wasn't working.
Could they get logged? Could they get loaded into the device? In your laptop? Okay, so that part of it is okay, but the rest of it is.
Great.
All right, move on to number 9, the fire department chief's report.
We did do those 2 interviews. There is one that I would like to hire. Not trained at all. She will be this fall. She's still in high school. But she's definitely a good candidate. She's looking to do this for a career, so starting early is good.
Any questions for the chief? All right, moving on to number 10, public comments regarding items 11 to 25, limited to 3 minutes. Anybody have any comments? Yes.
Judy Bava, Village of Maine. I would like to speak to 11 Ayler's capital planning and levy forecasting. I think before spending $350 per hour without even an upper limit, I would suggest you may want to hire consultants who already have extensive knowledge of our budgeting and levy history and have been involved with creating budgets that have kept our taxes reasonable for many years and have met our needs and been accurate predictions of future expenses and income. The individuals I'm referring to also know how to locate the information that appears the clerk treasurer has spent time trying to locate. Perhaps you could set up a training or orientation session with Betty and Cindy that could also include the road planning and maintenance schedules they have used. They are also very informed regarding the history and creation of the TID that has been ready for successful closing. Then when you have more information, at least we won't be paying Ayler's an exorbitant amount that is not in the current budget to start from scratch to locate or create information we already have, and you can make more informed decisions about what is or is not needed. Item 13, I have no problems with the recommendation to rezone, but in the interest of full transparency and proper protocol, I think the trustees should be aware that there are 2 planning commission members that I think should have recused themselves from the discussion or vote since they are related to the petitioners. I would also like to see landowners notified within a minimum of 300 feet or even 1,000 feet of borders of the proposed zoning change. My comments on 17 regarding the Finance Committee also apply to 19 municipal projects and public property committee. First, I'm very encouraged from what I have seen of this new board. You are bringing wonderful credentials and experiences with you and have shown that you are taking the job seriously and are doing work to make good decisions that you have been elected to make. I also appreciate that local government is the most responsive to its constituents because you know many of us and can communicate directly with us. I am concerned with the new creation of so many committees that are, again, were not budgeted for and seem to be another duplicative layer to gaining information and making decisions. I would like you to have the information to best enable you to make informed decisions without adding delays to the process. The ordinances creating the new committees can be rescinded. You would then be free to discuss with anyone you think could assist in providing more information as needed or create an ad hoc committee limited for a specific reason if there is a need. For example, in regards to item 17, someone with municipal accounting experience would be more valuable than an accountant with no municipal experience. Regarding 19, you could ask realtors or persons with construction expertise for information with an emphasis on those within our municipality. Set up an ad hoc committee if necessary, or better yet, decide who would like to make a few phone calls or visits and bring the information back to the board to make a decision. Lastly, the packet for this meeting is posted online, but
Your time is up, I'm sorry. Any other comments? Joe?
Go ahead, ladies.
Go ahead,
Ladies
Joe.
first.
No, go ahead, Joe.
Joe Yell, 10325 North 60th Ave. I would like to thank the board for diligently digging in and doing your business. I also would like to thank the staff for the budget comparison detail. It's wonderful to see that. I support the recommendations of the Planning Commission for the land possibility. And as you know in the past, unrelated, I do support committees allowing people to get more involved and help with bigger decisions with the board. Sound system sounds great, and I do definitely always support the audit. Thank you very much.
Betty?
Yes. Betty Hamish, 205 Broadwood Road, number 14. I'm asking the trustees to determine the group for the rezoning petition At this time, there were multiple zoning and municipal code violations that occurred on 6/1. Item 13, the plan commission minutes are to be approved at the plan commission level. Number 11, Maine is very different than Stratford, and I do approve of Mr. Johnson assisting the Village of Maine once the trustees, working with the road workers to put plans together, that he would assess the plans. The engineers help solicit the proper funding that is needed. In 2015, Maine had $52,000 worth of debt. We inherited broke, which was $4.3 million. We have paid off all of the debt, and budgeting is very simple when you have a leader that understands the process and understands the financial burden and where to look for it. So I am supportive of committees if they are trustees, so that the trustees have an opportunity to learn, and that the board members do more meetings and learn what's involved with their government. Let's see any other items. Okay, that's it.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any comments? Okay, we're going to move on. I would like to move number 23 to number 15, if that's okay. Number 23 is about the sound system, and we have somebody here who that's what they do for a living, and I would like their comments on that. So I would like to make a motion to move number 23 to 15 if possible.
I'll second that.
And for right now, number 11, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Discussing the possible action on the mailers. At the May 26th board meeting, the trustees were presented with the professional services scope of service for Greg Johnson, Ayler's Public Finance Advisors. The scope included TIP analysis, which they approved, and then they asked for a presentation from Greg on two other items, capital finance planning and levy forecasting. Now, Greg is able to join us via Teams. Greg, can you hear us? Turn it up. Try again. How do we make it so that everybody can hear?
Put the microphone closer to the speaker.
Really close? It should be louder than that. That's really strange that it's not all the way.
Yeah. You should be louder.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We can see you now, Greg. Can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Can you guys hear?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, Greg, we're ready.
Okay, if I share my screen, are you able to see the document?
You should. Let's try.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Good evening, my name is Greg Johnson from Elders. As was mentioned, we were asked to provide a scope of services to assist the village with a variety of items, ranging from future existing tax finance district, to doing some long-range capital planning and some levy forecasting. What level of service or what assistance the village wants is entirely at your discretion. Elders works with over 300 municipalities in the state of Wisconsin alone. Assist with a variety of services from what I just mentioned, helping the community with investments, utility rate studies. So we kind of offer a suite of public finance services that we tailor to each community depending on what level of assistance they feel is necessary for their particular community. So the types of services that you've asked for assistance with, things that we do for numerous communities throughout the state. I thought I'd just show some examples to kind of illustrate the types of analysis that we can do. I was contacted by your attorney, Shane Vanderwall, to kind of explain, kind of at a high level what you're looking for, but certainly welcome dialogue and feedback on how we be able to assist the village. But what I have up on the screen is really kind of an example of kind of a summary page of kind of the levy level and levy forecasting that we prepare for municipalities. This is an example of a summary of a general fund budget for the village of Stockville. All of this is kind of driven by line item details that forecast all their revenues and expenditures from each of their departments to really project where their levy is going, both operations and for capital. So on the top half of this spreadsheet, it shows historically expenditures in the general fund, revenues in the general fund, and projects the levy necessary to have a balanced budget. And then down below here, we added the other levy supported funds. They have a capital levy fund to cash finance capital projects, and then they have debt service updating to repay their obligations. And so this bond scale line kind of shows where their total tax levy is trending over a 5-year period to kind of fund their day-to-day operations, their capital plan, in their case included some anticipated facility improvements. In terms of the capital planning analysis that we do, they have a detailed CIP that's broken down by their village projects and then projects for each of their utilities. So they provide kind of their estimated capital projects over a 5-year period, and then we project what we can finance with cash, what they need to be financed with debt. So this is all a lot of detail behind these projections. So they have a detailed list of their village projects, which includes everything from equipment to park facilities to streets. Then they have a similar list for their sewer utility that identifies sewer improvement projects and equipment acquisitions. We show what's funded with cash, what's funded with debt, and then they do the same thing with their water utility. And so all that is used to kind of build a capital model. And we show what can be funded with cash, what has to be funded with debt, larger technical projects, and then all that feeds its way into that levy forecast that I'm showing. So once we kind of forecast out the levy over a multi-year period, we also check for compliance with levy limits. So we do a levy limit forecast that mimics the state DOR levy limit worksheet, and we project whether or not they're going to be within compliance, or if there are out years where they're going to have a levy limit gap, where they need to make adjustments to their costs or just to their revenues because their projected levy may exceed allowable limits. So this is just kind of an example of kind of the type of forecasting that we can do to kind of help provide some guidance to the village board for future budgets and kind of look at long-term trends to identify, where you may see any fiscal pressures within your budget. So before I go any further, maybe I'll just pause there, see if there's any additional questions or comments.
Okay, great, you can go on.
Okay. So in terms of, the levy limit forecasting is really helpful in terms of looking at compliance with levy limits. So you can identify if you're seeing any fiscal pressures going forward. So really kind of looking at things in a multi-year context can really help gauge your budget discussions going forward. This doesn't replace your budget process. You're still going to go through your annual budget adoption, but many communities where we kind of do this long-term forecasting, they use this as like a kickoff to their annual budget process. So before they start having their regular budget meetings in the fall, they can kind of see where things are trending over a multi-year period, and that can kind of help inform budgetary decisions as you go through your annual budget process. So really, all communities are really trying to achieve the same triple financial goals, which is how you can maintain and support your existing day-to-day also maintain appropriate capital investment in your infrastructure and do so in the context of levy limits. So kind of this long-term levy forecasting is really a tool that kind of helps with this front and center and help kind of guide your future capital and budgetary decisions.
Can I
And
ask
then
you,
in terms of our, sure, go
can I
ahead.
ask you a question? So what is your, you say many communities and stuff, what's your normal community size that you deal with, that you work with, village size, town size? All over the board, bigger, what?
Yep, all over the board. I work with communities that are as large as over 100,000 in population, to communities that population 500 people.
Oh, okay, great, just wondering.
Yeah, the fundamentals are all the same. The only difference is the number of zeros.
Right. Sounds good.
And then in terms of our TIF forecasting, really it's kind of doing a kind of a cash flow model. We have an existing TIF district that's previously been declared as distressed. So it's not in position to take on any new projects that weren't previously identified in your project plan. So it's just a function of identifying when that district is likely in position to close. That also impacts your levy forecasting and your levy limit, because upon the closure of a TIF district, all that incremental value returns to the tax rolls, and then second, you get a one-time levy limit adjustment the year following the TIF closure. So again, that long-range financial forecast can be aided by projecting TIF closures, so you understand the levy and levy limit implications of that, well in advance. So that's usually part of our long-term financial forecasting, so we can accurately illustrate the benefits of the TIF closure, and so you can see that prior to that. So in terms of what level of assistance we want, from us, that we tailor that to each particular community. How involved you want us to be is entirely at your discretion. Here to provide whatever level of service is deemed appropriate. Ellers, again, has worked with over 300 communities and Wisconsin alone. I worked at Ellers for 21 years. Prior to that, I was an administrator, including I was the first administrator in the now Village, previously Town of Mountain. So I've spent my entire career.
I have a question, Greg. Do you
Yes.
recall the 2025 budget reviews here in Maine? Are there things that you saw there where you think that you could help in 2026 solve maybe some of the issues that you saw? What the issues were and how you would like to solve them?
I think from my perspective, really I was kind of helping with kind of levy limit questions, kind of answering kind of some of those questions, both in terms of kind of historically how the levy limit regime was spelled out, and just kind of answering some questions about that going forward. I can just say, in terms of answering questions, I think this is kind of taking a deeper dive in terms of some of the levy limit analysis questions that I answered with the village. We did all that at no charge. We provide that guidance to communities, no charge for that. I think by doing kind of a budget forecast, it's really helping identify those issues. Because I think, while you adopt a budget annually, what you decide in each fiscal year, it carries forward and how it impacts what you do in future years. I think, budgeting, while you adopt a budget in a 12-month, period of time, but budgeting is a multi-year endeavor. I think having kind of a long-term forecast that goes out a couple of years kind of puts you in position to make sure you're on a path that's financially stable and meets your community goals and objectives. Not saying that you're not doing that now, but I think having a plan to kind of help guide those decision making, so you're kind of making decisions in a multi-year context.
Thank you. Yes. Thanks, Greg. Did we have any
You're welcome.
questions? I'm gonna go ahead and shut you down, okay?
Okay, that's great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Aye.
Right, then move on to number 12.
Is there any active set up discussion?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, discussion of possible action for Ayler. So we still have the portion of the capital finance planning and levy forecasting that he brought the previous time as proposal.
What would be our next step? If we're going to bring him in, or do something, what's the very next step that you would say?
I think, and Gene, jump in, but I think what you do is you decide to what extent you want him involved. I mean, just like anything, you have to have a contract in place, number one. And once the contract in place, remember this contract is an hourly rate contract.
Right.
It's not a flat fee.
Right.
So, once the contract is approved, then the board has to, or Jamie, or I'm not sure who, decides to what level do you want? Do you want the level that Saukville has, or is it more of a, I have a question on filling out something apart as far as whether it's the capital finance plan or the levy forecasting. I mean, that's the beauty of it. You use them to the extent you want to use them.
Right, right. Yeah, well,
And I guess I
that's
would
kind of-
defer to Jamie or a treasurer or the president as to just
Where would we start, I think is the question.
probably, I would think you would start right before the budget, would you? Because you're gonna want, maybe or maybe not, some levy forecast like this. Remember, the TID is paid off, and there's those issues.
You know, capital plans, you know, what we need to budget.
We're looking at the current capital plan for the village. I don't,
Yeah, no, I'm just.
but it's one thing,
Bring it out
the
there,
idea is
so-
to have a contract in place so you can use it to the extent you want to use it.
Right. Didn't know if there was an identified task to start
There are
with.
things to me that,
Not at this point, it's just more, would be great to have a working or two, just to make sure that we're doing everything that we can.
We don't think we'll find that in the finance committee, since we're thinking of going forward with the finance committee, what's the, I guess if that's what we're trying to do with the levy, what's the purpose of, if we find somebody who has that background that wants to be on the finance committee as a resident?
well, the finance committee is just a committee, and one of the things that Greg will provide is, for instance, one of the issues that came up last year was whether a piece of leased equipment was properly under section 8D or 8E of the levy limit worksheet, which can impact the levy for the village. To me, that's a very high, I wouldn't expect the finance committee to know that.
Well, I don't know, it depends if there's somebody in the village that has that kind of experience.
Right, with accounting and with filling levy limit worksheets.
Right, but I don't know that there isn't. You know there is, or I don't know there isn't. So.
I would be very surprised if there was
Yeah.
somebody. I mean, it's a pretty technical,
It sounds like he would be somebody we would lean on to help fill in education gaps that we have. You know, that's what a consultant does. And we'll provide that to us. Okay, I just, like I said, I just wanted to understand it better. We said, yes, we're gonna go forward, where to start, but I think Jamie might have to guide us a little bit in that direction with your previous experience and expertise to say, okay, this is a good starting point to get to this.
did you work with Ellers and Stratford? And what would you typically, and Stratford's a small community, what would you typically utilize them for when you were there?
The levy line worksheet.
Okay.
Just to make sure that we were getting everything that we could, that was not state aids, everything like that. And to make sure that when we do our changes in rules, we're putting the correct items in the correct buckets. Is it like the section D or AC, and there's different places that need the things, and sometimes the rules change on them. So these go on for that, and propane they use is the TIF district, and cash flow analysis. So, for contract.
Did you use them for capital planning? Like I'm thinking about the public works building, things like that.
They come in and they'll,
Right.
they may or may not make a recommendation, again, if you want to, as to the best way to finance them.
Right, and property that we have, we're selling. One thing that we'll get to when we get to the road projects is that DPW was saying they want a 5-year plan, not a 1-year plan. They would also like to be seeing out 5 years, and I was hoping that maybe that would be included in a 5-year comprehensive plan. What are the roads, what are the ones for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, what ones for 5 years? So I was,
You're talking a lot of money
A lot of money, yes.
for them, because they'd have to go, basically,
They won't do that, though.
analyze all
They're
the
not
roads.
public works
I mean,
people.
that's-
Yeah, no, that's an REI type of thing.
Do we, I
we're
realize
building
you,
it out for a 5-year budget though, 5 years.
Yeah, yeah,
Right, that's what I'm saying.
right.
I realize he's doing a contract on time, time, on this time. Doesn't he have like, can he give us a forecast on those 2 items to, $350 an hour, not to exceed, or approximate cost?
But in fairness to him, it depends upon how much you call him and how much you want to use him.
I know, I used to give the not to exceed all the time.
I don't, because the Village of Rothschild calls me once a month, they're not to exceed, they don't have a not to exceed, but I attend one meeting every 3 to 4 months. The Village of Maine, I'm attending every single meeting. So if I gave you a not to exceed at $1,000, I'm just throwing a number out there.
Right, this is something we could ask him, to see if there's anything he could,
I think if we had a scope of work for it.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Give him a scope of work. we'll be
If
able
you
to
give them a
see that.
specific scope.
That's what I'm saying, for the levy, or, that's what Jamie needs, what she needs. If we had that specific scope of work, he should be able to give us if he's done some money, we should be able to give us $100, it's $50, something like that.
I think if you gave a specific scope, sure.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
In his original proposal, he actually did say no. He actually, in the original one that we got the first time, he actually did say you can have it by $350 an hour or by
A flat fee.
a flat fee.
Oh, he did both. But that was on what we're talking about now, not on the full budget forecasting and all the other stuff, just on the tax things. No, that was on everything.
Right. It was
Right,
on
so we're-
those 3 things. It was on the TID, it was on the planning, and it was on the levy. And he could either do it either way from on his original contract.
Right, he had them broken down, each one, and it was relooked at.
Yeah, he does, but he doesn't have a do not exceed him. Because he made it very broad. In fact, I think he said in his email, I made it broad because I'm not sure exactly what they need and or I'm looking for.
Yeah. Well, I think we got a scope of work, and we could get a quote.
The school is broad, a lot of our engagements are based on flat fee. Since this is covering a lot, this is based on an hourly fee. There'll be a lot of information in the call from the village. The hourly fee only applies to time spent completing analysis or attending meetings. Kickoff discussions or information gathering is not.
So is there an action we want to take, or do we just move on to item 12?
It's a move on what, change the fund out with the limited scope of services that do not exceed number.
I think, do you guys agree to do this, look at the scope, or is it a dead horse? Oh, it's a lot of money. That's where and I don't know where we're coming up with it, so, I definitely don't wanna go into debt to figure out our debt down the road. That doesn't make any sense.
I agree, I'm with you, $350 an hour, that's a lot of money, and just, I'm a little leery of it myself. Just saying.
Maybe if they reduce the scope though and bring it down, maybe there's somewhere in the budget we can figure that out. I'm just asking, I don't know if we want her to do that or not.
We do have 78,000 set aside for planning and consulting.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand it. That's a couple of my questions. But, yeah, but those go to the other. There's a couple of places that we're gonna definitely be over by quite a bit according to where we're at now and the checks that are going out this time that we're approving. If you look at the percentages and how much is spent, there's some spots where you're gonna be 20,000 over. So we gotta figure that out as we come forward. So that I was gonna ask at the end when we went through the checks. I don't know if you guys looked through it. I went through it one by one. And, yeah, there's a lot of spots there that I'm nervous about, put it that way. There's money there, but I never spend money before I know I have it. You know what I mean? That's not, we're budgeted for certain amounts so that I don't want to go too deep into that because I don't understand that budgeted amount for administrative. And I guess that's pretty vague in my mind. But I don't want to go back to that.
So what do you need from them?
Do you want to take any action? Do you want her to call and get scope of services? Do you want to take any action? He's already approved to do the TIF, because that's a part of the reimbursement.
Right. As I understood. I mean, if he could give us a cost, I'll make a motion that he would put together an estimated cost for doing what your scope would be, or get the scope ready first. Yes, you have to do, right? Is that what I'm asking?
Well, you're asking her to scope, you've said, Jamie, is assistance on the levy worksheet.
Yes.
Levy limit worksheet.
That would be my biggest.
Right. So what is his cost related to assistance on the levy limit worksheet? For 2020, just
Working with him already, and it's inexpensive and relative.
So we have a motion for Jamie to go and get a quote on the levy limit worksheet.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. We'll be looking at the minutes. I want to we have a motion to correct the May 5th date listed on the top of the May 11th. I make a motion. That's one change on here. But the change from May 11th on the top to May 5th to May 11th.
Oh.
Yeah. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Any other questions about the May 11th meeting minutes?
Make a motion to approve minutes from the 11th.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor for approving the May 11th meeting minutes?
Okay.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Move on to May 26th. Minutes. Any concerns, any questions, any changes?
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from May 26th.
I'll second.
And the motion made and seconded, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. So we do have an agenda to review the 6-1 Plan Commission minutes.
Just so the board knows, when this is brought up, the plan commission meetings, if you approve them, it's really ceremonial. I'm not thinking you were there. Typically, in the Robert's rules, the body that has the meeting and has the minutes approves of the meeting minutes. Right. So I just want to, you can approve them, but
We don't need.
you don't have to. But it's good you read them because what's coming up on the agenda are some things that
Yeah.
they work at. But I've seen other bodies approve them, but just, it's not your meeting minutes, it's their meeting minutes.
And they go to those students from
They
the
will.
Plan Commission person.
Typically, the planning commission approves their own meeting minutes.
Okay.
Again, I've seen other villages and cities approve them, but it's, again, a ceremonial, that we're approving the meeting minutes. But if you think about it, unless they're going to sit and listen to the audio tape, and they're a member of the body, which has,
Well, these minutes haven't been approved by the plan commission yet.
I have no idea, how was it?
No, because there was one.
So, I mean,
meeting was
they
last-
can't
meeting was
approve
last-
until they approve them.
Okay,
We should just get up and approve something that they haven't approved.
right, yeah.
We should really just get a report.
What's that?
We should really just get a report.
Yeah,
Not a.
well, they're minutes,
Yeah,
some minutes, yeah.
Just table them just for,
You can table it.
I'll make a motion to table the plan commission minutes from June 1st.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. The discussion and possible action to rezone parcel on 28th and Decatur.
So is there a public hearing?
Yep, there's a public hearing, neighbors showed up, nobody had any opposition to it. The 3.94 acre lot is at the southeast corner of 28th and Decatur. This would allow the O'Connells to purchase 1 acre and increase their lot to a conforming 3 acre lot. And then it will allow the remaining 8.34 acres to be purchased by Ms. Frank for a future home. Our zoning administrator, Darren Cobble, has informed us that he sees no issue with rezoning the parcel from commercial to residential. We did have a public hearing. Nobody opposed, they all agreed, and the plan commission approved the rezoning request at their June 1st meeting.
So that was, all the neighbors are notified, doesn't have to be put in the paper and everything?
Twice, published twice in the paper, according to the regulations.
And then the petitioner, that's a relation of yours?
It's a nephew.
Yeah, so that's a conflict.
The nephews are a conflict.
No, do not. And not only that, remember, it's a conflict of interest. Just simply, if you receive more than 50% support, or that person receives more than 50% support, if they're a son or daughter, a spouse, or an in-law. Now, that doesn't mean the village can't adopt more stringent rules as to conflicts of interest. Or sometimes we recommend a trustee not take action for the appearance of a conflict of interest. Even though people don't understand it. There's the law side of it, then there's just simply the appearance of a conflict of interest. So that is referred to. And I'm just so the board knows too, when I spoke to Rich, the previous zoning administrator, on April 13th, he had this with him at the time, and I asked him about it, and he also, consistent with what Darren said, Rich did not see a reason to be it, which we did. To the extent of the members. No.
How did the motion carry?
Unanimous. I was at the meeting when there was very little discussion on it, and it was a unanimous decision.
The conflict make a difference? If there was a conflict, then we have.
No.
And remember, the plan commission members only have recommendations to you guys.
Right.
But it was a unanimous vote.
to your point, even with the motion, they still would pass 6-0.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
There was a thing.
The other thing you always want to check too, with doing review zones, is to make sure it's consistent, remember, with a comprehensive plan. And I assume that the plan commission checked that. Because all your actions in zoning need to be consistent with your comp plan. Which is what I believe Reg and Dan was checked.
Right. That's really nice.
Yeah.
There were no red flags on any of that.
There was not. I will make a motion that we approve that new zone. For the committee, for the planning commission.
All right, so maybe this is a really dumb question, but what's the unplatted land owned by others? Does anybody know who owns that? Doesn't matter, it's not anybody affiliated to the,
Yeah, not perfect to the,
not
to
personal.
the zone, it was other side. I mean, this way, it's mentioned.
Well, but if you look at who was sent, it would be Lilac LLC, Caravan Communities. I'm looking at this map.
Yeah.
And comparing it to, I assume you're talking about the land immediately to the south of the island.
Oh, that's like, yeah, you're right. That's right, yeah, sorry, I missed that. So he didn't have any issues with it either, and there's no affiliation.
None of the people addressed that were neighbors who were at the meeting.
They were here and they said no issues.
Well,
Some of you, right, some of them.
And Martin and Joyce are in the future here.
some of them were, yes, you're right.
Yeah, and they were asked
Yes.
specifically and they said no issues.
Yes, you were correct.
All right, well, I'll second it.
A motion made and seconded to approve to rezone that parcel. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We're gonna push the sound system up to number 15. So, and that's only because, the same person is here. He has extensive experience and that's what they do for a living, is they do sound. So for the sound system, so on March 24th, 2025, the previous board has presented a microphone system quote for between $16,000 and $26,000, depending upon the solution. That motion was tabled until other quotes could be found. So now we have two quotes coming here today. Bruce requested one from Sound World, and that one is for $1,310, and then there's one from resident Matt Cozen for $2,854. We would like that system to be portable so that it can be used for outdoor events. Fire department can use it, the fire department picnic, we would like a portable community events. And so we do have that subject matter expert here, and I'm hoping that he can give his opinion on both of these. Can you agree then? Brennan?
Hi, so I'm Brennan. I'm the technical arts director for Highland Community Church. I've had that role since 2019. I've been part-time there within that role, and at the Grand Theater part-time also since I've been in high school. So 2014, 13. So for the past, whatever, 6 years, I've been doing that full time across 4 campuses, multiple venues and everything. So Judith reached out to me to ask, because she knows my expertise in this between the two, and even a little bit when Matt was first putting together the other one, I had made some suggestions for changes to make it a little bit simpler and a little bit more future-proof versus just this exact purpose for the thing. So the sound world quote was just one microphone. I agreed with the microphone choice. Sure is a very good microphone. That's what I installed in all of my places that I installed them. It was a really good microphone, but it's only going to fix one person. It's not going to help with everybody to be heard very well sort of situation. And with that system, as far as I can see on the board that they provided, they're still using the old speakers in the ceiling and everything that are probably outdated, and the amplifier in the back, which when we were here for the planning commission meeting, we fed back and had a very awful sound and stuff, so it's obviously not set up super great because it's creating a feedback loop and such sort of situation. Plus the labor rate for that, I don't know what that all involves, but the four at 99, I'm assuming that's an hourly rate. That microphone should take 25 minutes to install, not 4 hours, so that kind of set me back. I was like, that's a very high rate. And then same thing with the mixer. I don't know why they quoted the mixer, because the one that's there is already a mixer that has inputs on it. So I'm not really sure why they added an additional mixer. I don't know exactly what their scope was of what they were planning. But as far as that goes, if you went with that, I would put in the mixer because it already has one built into the amplifier.
I believe they added the mixer because there's only two microphone inputs.
Okay.
So I needed the mixer to add a couple more. That was my understanding. Go ahead.
So yeah, and then back to on Matt's, so he has 2 powered speakers, so those would be 100% portable, they're on stands, they can plug into any sort of power outlet that you have, even they can run off of generators. I've done that before, where running speakers off generators, as long as you have a good enough generator, you can put it anywhere that you want. I've never used it, so the cons with his is just, I've never heard of the systems that he has, but it looks like they are a good system as far as the microphones and stuff. Sure, it's like, top of the line sort of thing, where these ones might be a little less, but as far as they have enough channels so that if you have frequency issues, you should be able to pick another channel so that it allows for not to have feedback when you're running that many microphones in the same spot. So I liked that when I was looking at the system. He had a smaller mixer, kind of like what they had originally, or what was on the Sound World quote. I think it might even have been the same one or close to it. I had suggested getting the Behringer one. It was a little bit, like maybe $20 more than what he had, but that will allow you to have all the microphones pre-installed, so there's no switching, no unplugging, nothing like that. It's just microphone 1 is channel 1, channel 2, so on and so forth. That would also allow for inputs from like tonight, where we had to put a microphone next to the computer. It has RCA inputs so that she could actually plug her computer in, so everybody could easily heard. I can't remember the guy's name. Great talking, so that could have gone through the speakers a lot easier versus just being a handheld microphone. That system came with 2 wireless, so say me talking or anybody, you could have a microphone up front so they could easily be heard. And then everything in one box. So you put the box on the floor or wherever you decide to put it, and then everything is there other than the microphones that have to be set up. Your mixer, the receivers, everything is just in one spot. So you want to take it outside, take that whole box, which if it's closed, it's waterproof. If it's open, obviously it's not. But and then having that power conditioner so that if there's any power spikes or anything, it won't blow your equipment up and it'll trip that just like you would any sort of breaker in your house sort of situation. So everything will be nice and clean, put together, everything. The only thing that if you wanted to save some money, but it would then negate if you just wanted for in here, it would negate the portability of it. But you could, in theory, plug it in and still use the old speakers and still have enough microphones for everybody, and just plug it into those 2 inputs that the 2 speakers are, and run it through the system. But obviously, then you lose all the portability factor as far as that goes without using the power speakers. But if you're looking to save costs, then you specifically just want it for in the room versus other things, that would be one way to augment his quotes. Would be to use the speakers that are here with the new microphones, so everybody could have a microphone. Any other questions or anything.
Was someone provided a copy of this description, so we had an opportunity to comment? Because I know that when we brought that up, the gentleman from Somerville was at the board meeting, wanted to discuss, because he also thought, I believe, that the current system was inadequate. So I guess in my mind, I'm wondering, was he told this is what we want, and limiting the scope of service? Or,
I simply limited the scope and said we need an extra microphone.
okay, so they haven't had the
That was the
chance,
scope I had. They know, I don't. not-
so they haven't had a chance to comment on this, and,
No,
okay.
no, I just, what I gave him was I just said, we had 2 microphones, we need a 3rd microphone.
Okay.
And that was it, that
Well,
was
the guy was
it.
here in 25.
And he came, Jamie was here.
Recently.
Oh.
Bruce on his own had Soundgrove come in just recently.
Oh, but
Yeah,
did he
this-
see, my question, did you see this? So
No.
you could comment on
No.
the adequacy, and I'm not downplaying, but just, I sit here and listen to, oh, this is cheaper, this is not as good.
Yeah, this is not apples to apples.
No, it's
That's
not.
what I'm trying, and that's what I'm trying to.
No, it was not. It was, when I contacted Somerville, I specifically just said, we need a 3rd microphone, we just a cheap, a reasonable solution for a 3rd microphone. And, he said, let me come out and take a look and see what it is. And then he came and visited, and said, okay, if you want to add a 3rd microphone, this is what you need to do. Then Mixer would provide the ability to add a 4th microphone, but again, it's just a simple, whatever it was. So,
For due diligence, don't we have to take out the money on this side of this and send something like this forward to him? To someone that doesn't do apples to apples? I mean, just for due diligence of the board, nothing against the bidder, I don't think it's that bad, but, my other question, I have one other question. So we want to have the fire department use this, and we use it to make it portable so that maybe the Lions can use it or something like that, is that what you're thinking? So, I jump into the budget again, where are we getting it from the budget? Because we did go over on like the computers a little bit already. So is there a possibility, and this might be poking the bear, but the bear's right there. Is there a possibility that there's some room in the budget that we could share it, if we're gonna actually share it, if we share it?
Possibly, we just split a link from our budget to your budget back and forth, yeah.
And just something to cover so that,
Sure.
does that make sense?
Yep.
Does the fire department have a need for it?
Depends what kind of fundraisers we have, and what be going on. So it's that's an open question.
But it's a possibility.
Yeah.
That's what you've used in the past.
speakers, I'm sorry. Are the speakers Wi-Fi or are they hardwired to the mixer lane?
So those ones I believe, would be hardwired, but they do have Bluetooth. So like, say you just wanna have background music or something, or if you don't wanna take the whole system and you just wanna have music, they have enough inputs that you can put one speaker, take one of these microphones, so somebody's talking, you have talking, and then you have background music. And you don't have to take out the whole entire rig sort of
Yeah.
thing. So
Well, I'm
they,
just thinking if we have 2 speakers, you got one over there and one over here, you're running the wrong way or one across.
yes, there would be one wire on, but that's the give and take of the portable.
Right, no, I understand. I just want to understand the specifics.
Yeah, but they do have some Bluetooth, so like you can put, like I was saying, a phone for something for like the fire department if they're just like play music and they want to have one microphone for the talking portion or something. Same thing with the line, sort of thing. So I think it would be very versatile in that sense.
So do we need to make a motion to table it or have it go back to some? Make a
Probably
motion, just a table.
And then there's somebody else, so you want me to send Soundworld this quote and then have them bring it in something comparable? And isn't that like a?
Well, isn't that what happened here?
No, we should take the specs to Somerville.
I didn't talk to Somerville, I just brought it up because it sounded like,
Bruce talked to Soundworld and sent me the quote and said, here's the quote. And it's like, okay, but I didn't even know when we talked to Soundworld, like what our needs were.
right.
Right, no, and
That's
I
my
did,
point.
and you and I
Our
did not
needs will be
speak.
involved.
What's that?
No, they're pretty much the same.
Yeah, but now we're getting an involved bid where we have another, bid. To look at these 2 bids side by side, that's
Right,
not,
I
that's
tried
not
to
even.
find the one that we got. that was for 16,000 up to 26,000.
But was that the
And
same?
it was just
as
for
this?
here. It
No, that was
just,
for a full.
it was for speakers
Full
and-
system.
it was for microphones and speakers.
So another orange, so apple, orange, pineapple.
Yeah.
So we want apples and
No,
apples.
that was equivalent to the one for 2,800. It was microphone and speakers. But it wasn't, anyway, I'll try to find it because it was a hard copy, so you can see it, you can see that alongside this as well. So you want me to
You were.
send this?
Why don't
over?
you and I work together, we'll get the specs of this put together generically. So, so we can do that, so okay, here's what we want for speakers, here's what we want for that, here's what we want for microphone and mix it.
So
We'll
they
get
were
the specs
comparable.
together. We can-
Exactly.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
I wouldn't show them, you know.
Yeah.
Because it'll come in $5 under bid.
No,
That's
that's
why I
what
said
I
get
thought
rid
you
get
were
rid of
No,
the
no.
names.
we'll get rid of
Just
this.
description.
We'll
is
just,
all you want.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll work
None of
we'll work
his-
on that, I can email back and forth with you, whatever, and then we can take it to Soundboard and say, okay, we decided to go further than this original thing, saying we want to look at replacing the system. Here's our thoughts,
Here's our scope of
the
service.
scope of service.
Right, you don't want to give them his opinions.
No.
Because you don't want to give him anything easy, just a description of what you're buying. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it,
Okay,
right? That's all we need to do. is
So I'll make a motion that we table this for what? Next meeting? Or
Next meeting?
is that enough time?
Sure.
Next meeting should be fine.
You can always table it again. I mean, I don't want to table it too far out. I'll second the motion.
So we have a motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Now we will move on to number 15.
Oh, that's nice.
15 is discussion on possible action on the well number 8 pump replacement quote. This is a quote for $11,450. And we have Michael here to explain what happened. And my understanding also is that once they, we need a signed contract in order to order the materials needed. And then once they pull that pump up and they inspect the pump, then they'll be able to determine if maybe it was a failure from lightning. We don't know that until we get up and inspect it. At that time, we can research it, we can submit insurance for it. So Michael, do you want to explain what's going on?
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, I had a break on my phone that well 8 called run was failing, so came in and did my inspections, and then it was showing me a fault, so I got Kurt from municipal to come and take a look, and he found out that the pump motor in the bottom of the well was shot. So he's ready when we are. To come do it, he said about a day to pull it, set it, put it back, and get 2 clean water samples. So Kurt was the one that originally installed the wells down there, so I would recommend that we stick with him. So that's what's going on.
There's well 8 commissioner now.
Correct. Yep.
Is there, again, due diligence, should we be getting a second quote? It'd be good from someone, maybe, I don't know, Stannis can still do that?
I could, I could call, my recommendation is because we have 2 wells up to the same line, I would recommend going with this guy and get it done tonight. It's making me a little bit nervous having it sit out there like this. Because if our other well goes down, they're on the same line, and then I would be calling all the units. So,
So this is who we've used in the past.
yeah, he's the one who installed the pump originally,
Installed in the
so.
first place.
When was that pump?
When was
When
installed.
was the previous pump installed? You said he installed it, I'm just curious for how long.
That was before my time. I couldn't give you a specific date.
Just trying to understand the life of the pump.
So he doesn't know if the wires are partially cooked all the way down?
He didn't say.
So is that gonna be an extra if the wires are cooked? If that hit by lightning, the wires are usually cooked on 2 lines going down. Capacitors?
Yeah, you know that's,
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
So, because I see it says just reinstall the pump or reinstall new motor.
Right.
So he's gonna pull it, he's gonna change the motor, he's gonna leave the impellers, he's gonna drop it back down with the old wire. And he's, any capacitors and any control boards that would have got hammered when it got hit by lightning, if it got hit by lightning, you know, they're gonna go back direct ground, they're not just gonna well ground. That's where my question is this gonna turn into a $20,000 deal? If he drops that new motor, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
There's no note until he evaluates it.
Well, you can ohm, I don't know what his ohm readings were on his motor. I'm
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous about just having to change the motor on. Wes?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things, we just gotta hope for the best.
I know, we do, we just gotta hope for the best. I just seen too many times where, I mean, especially if it's hit by lightning. If it's hit by lightning, you'll know once he starts pulling it, because he's gonna have melted wires together.
I mean, assuming this isn't his first rodeo and he's done everything he possibly can before he,
Right, it just doesn't mention anything along
yeah,
that.
so he must not be on the radar.
When you put this quote together, I called him 3 hours later, he was here, and then 6 hours later, he produced this quote because he knows how important it is. He verbally told me that it should only be the motor.
Yeah.
Should only be the piping, the wiring should be fine, is what he verbally told me. Again, that was a verbal, so.
Professionally, I've heard good things about it, so I'm not like downplaying it.
Yeah.
I have heard that it's good, so.
Yeah. It's one of the things, I mean, you could. Yeah, he said he's pulled pumps before thinking everything's good, and then all at once they're hanging by the wires because the pipe is grown halfway down, so. Yeah, it's one of those things.
I'll make a motion to accept the municipal well and pump quote for $11,450.
And we can't get a quote within a day or anything like that, a second quote. I'm just afraid it's gonna- I did see. You guys can second it, I'm gonna. I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor? Aye.
I'm gonna abstain on this one.
Any opposed? Since it's money, you want a roll call vote? No? So we have one opposed?
No, abstain.
Oh, you abstain, okay. Motion carried. 4 abstain, okay. Thanks, Michael, thanks for your time, thanks for getting this going so quick.
Thanks, guys.
Next, we're gonna be moving on to the personnel policy. When Jamie was reviewing this, she saw some items that need some clarifying. So I'll let Jamie talk to that, and I'll just scroll down, so you can view the red lines, okay?
So the first on the top there, instead of the 2026 personnel policy, I would put version 2026, and I put 060 because it's June, but you could do whatever you want for that. But if you have it, say, the 2026 personnel policy, you would have to revisit it every single year. So if you don't have changes that you want to make, there's no reason to revisit, just to change the year. Under the pay period overtime, there was nothing really saying when your pay period actually is. So I would suggest having your pay, I didn't put it in there, but your payday be on Friday.
Was it just kind of
All
all
in
over the
on
place?
Thursday. Well, yeah, checks were just cut one after, like. So I would have it be that payrolls on Thursday unless it falls, like if that Thursday's a holiday, bump it to the day before,
Would direct deposit be on Tuesday also, or on
No.
Friday?
Thursday.
Okay,
Just,
okay, just want to understand.
that's kind of a, if something wouldn't go through with someone's bank, if they're on direct deposit, if they notify me on Thursday that it didn't show up, at least then I can get it there on Friday instead of wait the weekend.
That's a good idea.
And then on the bottom of that page, there's, the call outside of work, so. I have one there, like, what is the callback policy? Your water wastewater operator, it's a 300 a week on-call payment, but there's nothing in the policy about that.
Is that standard or is that call?
There's nothing in this file, he just, I looked back on my payrolls and he corrected me on the first one that I didn't have him stated that. It wasn't in this file.
That's what we used to do too.
What's that?
We used to do that at the shop, rotating, that
Standby?
standby, because
I-
they're
I-
asking them to stay home. for the
Exactly,
weekend.
so you pay them from, exactly.
Yeah.
So they get standby time, then if they get called in, they get call time.
Exactly.
So I'm just trying to understand what this is. Bye-bye.
Your guess is as good as mine.
I assume it's standby.
I'd rather even to do weekend rounds. because
Then that's call
some
time.
days-
He's gotta get called in. It's gonna be call time.
But she's saying
Well, it's not a
weekend,
call in, it's
you're
just,
saying weekend rounds, he has to come out. and
Yes.
run, he has to take the inspections.
So it's gonna
So it's doing that.
be- okay.
and then even for one of the other public works guys, like if they get called in because there's a washout or a hole in the road, if it's something that takes them 15 minutes, it's kind of a, what's the incentive for them to actually come
There
in?
should be a flat fee.
That's kind of where I like in a little blue box, I put in like, that it's a minimum of 2 hours. So
In fact, I pulled up one I just worked on, and in there they put notice that we're given prior to 3:30 on the regular workday will continue directly after the next shift, then you don't get call time. The next, but there it's 4 hours. Straight time,
That
plus
was-
time and a half.
just an example.
Yeah, no.
We always did when they left their house till they got back to their house. They lived a half hour.
Yeah.
Half hour in, half hour added on back, so they got an extra hour.
Yeah.
Whatever they're.
Something to make it worth the trip.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how.
Well,
that is.
you're on standby, you don't get call time either. That's done.
Well, they don't, those two don't get anything currently.
No, but like Michael.
Yeah. So that's kind of a, I don't know, if the board has thoughts on that. Or,
Do you have verbiage that you'd like to see instead?
I'm okay with a minimum of 2 hours.
But you're, so they would get the 300 plus the 2 hours.
Well,
We can't do that, that's what I'm asking. We never did that, so if they got the 300 weekly and they came in for 2 hours.
only Michael gets a standby because he's.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of mine.
I call standby, but you call it.
Well,
Weekend
in the
hours.
system, yeah. I mean, you call it whatever you want.
Yeah, basically.
So Michael stands by with the public works vehicle.
Right. There's a snowstorm.
So what if it's, so I'm thinking of Michael on emergency. This is written into Michael's policy, so if he had that pump go out,
He's always on standby.
Yeah.
plus of that, oh, does he get paid, then he gets paid on top of that when he comes in?
If it's
Because
during-
he's
if it's
giving up
not
the
a-
entire weekend.
No, I understand, I'm just trying to figure out how. Didn't you say it had to be the same kind of across the hall?
But you know, I mean, we can treat him differently because he's only one of the public work,
Oh.
of the water utilities.
Okay, got it. I'm lumping together different parts. 2 hours is, I think that's fair.
Nice, man. Opinions?
Do you like the verbiage, that the example that Jamie has?
Are we approving them all at once or are we doing this one at a time?
How would you like to do it?
I'm asking,
You can do it either way. You can do it,
I mean, because there's multiple changes that are gonna be, I mean, are we just gonna do it all at once or are we doing this one at a time? Before we move forward, I guess.
what's
Because
your
there's,
preference?
there's other, I mean, there's other things here at the bottom of this page that we, were talked about, so I mean,
Let's do it.
One at a time. Do you want to go right back up to the top for the 2026? Okay, let's go right back up to the top. And instead of having it a 2026, but it's a version 2026-06, and maybe explain why that was a better way of doing it.
I make a motion to approve that.
Second? Okay, got a motion and second, and therefore all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And we're gonna go down to this one about payroll will be on a Thursday unless that falls on a holiday.
It should say payroll will be on a Thursday unless it is a holiday, comma, and then shall be paid the day prior.
Once you write it and then read it back to us.
Because it gives, you don't want them to have, their mortgage payment is due, bank doesn't wait. I know, because I got one.
Payroll will be on Thursday. And if there is a holiday, she'll be paid the day prior.
Day prior. Usually don't pay the day after.
Right.
Sticking it to the employee.
Get an extra day.
What's that?
Get an extra day.
Yeah, exactly.
All right? Anybody want to make a motion for that one?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay. So this one is twofold. So it looks like it should say something in here about wastewater treatment plant receives $300 a week for standby.
For, in case we could add a second, there's gotta be some verbiage saying one person on call, would you call it, or would you call it?
Well, we can say one employee, what do they call it?
Wastewater treatment.
One wastewater treatment station shall be on standby and receive $300.
It has to match whatever their employee, what the employee's description is. So if it's wastewater treatment,
Good job
I
description.
would call it utility operator, because it's not
Okay,
just doing
utility.
wastewater, it's checking wells too.
So we could say the utility operator.
Utility operator. Yep.
one,
Yeah, that's actually
yeah, that makes sense.
the utility operator shall receive $300 per week. I don't care.
Just standby.
Or weekend, as weekend rental.
Yeah,
That's
because if we get a second person or whatever, they rotate.
It's during the week too, because if the auto dialer goes off, or the pump sale, the auto dialer comes right.
That goes really tight.
I don't care what you call it.
So standby is better than weekends.
Stand,
We can do
standby,
it.
standby is good.
Standby.
Stand by that.
On call.
So the utility operator shall receive $300 per week as standby fee.
Sure.
That's additional standby fee? Or just that standby?
That's standby.
That's-
Anybody want to make a motion for that sentence?
I'll do it.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Next one is if you want to have this worded like this, full-time hourly rate employees called to work outside of their regular hours to respond to an emergency will be paid at 1.5 times regular hourly pay rate with a minimum of 2 hours.
What needs to be one to add anything from currently there's nothing for them, so if you want to leave it, there's nothing.
So what, so what do they do now? They just charge when they get there or what?
Yeah, so most of the time it's going to be more than 2 hours anyway, because it's probably some phone or some, a big emergency.
Maybe leave it out until they,
Sure.
they ask for it. That's okay. 'Cause if they're gonna make, I mean, they're obviously gonna make 2 hours every time they go snow.
Right, but if it's a tree in the road or whatever, you just, small tree, drive over, grab the tree, throw it in the ditch, drive home.
Well, that's why I was
That's
gonna
that into
suggest,
the spectrum.
maybe you want to delete the language to respond to an emergency, because what is that? What is an emergency?
Yeah.
Right.
Who's, yeah, who's
What
definitely.
constitutes an emergency?
So my only suggestion, I would do it, full-time, will be paid 1.5 times the regular rate of pay with a minimum of 2 hours if they're called outside of the regular hours.
I just leave it for now. Like, we can always amend it if we need to or change it. In my opinion, I'll make a motion to just leave it without the wording, without the example for callback wording.
Second.
I'm gonna strike that completely. Yes, sir.
Correct.
Do you need a
Okay.
motion on that? Because we're not adding.
You're not, you can. It's a motion.
It's on negative.
Motion made and seconded, all
No.
in favor? Aye.
I'm
Any
sorry.
opposed?
Because it's a motion and a negative, I know what you're
Okay,
saying.
yeah, okay.
It's a motion not to do something.
So now we're going to go to a new topic. Jamie, you want to talk?
So the next part is, just a little clarification for the time off. So currently, it's written that holiday pay is for an 8-hour day. But you've got a couple of employees that are working 10-hour days. So do you want them to receive 8-hour holiday pay and then either make up the 2 hours? Or, I mean, I've already seen places that they get 8 hours of holiday and then lose 2 hours of vacation. We did 10-hour day.
Contracted is 40 hours, 4 10-hour days, some of them are, and that's
Oh.
5 days.
By law, we have to pay time and a half over 40 hours. So we're looking at 4 10 days.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
asking. Yeah, that's what I'm
But
asking.
there's nothing, I didn't see anything written that,
That's what I was just looking
that's,
for.
like, I don't know if they're just doing that because it's nice to have Friday off, or if that was something that the board wanted. But if it comes into, if they're getting a 10-hour holiday and they're receiving 60 hours of holiday pay, or your 8-hour people are getting 48 hours of holiday pay.
I think it should all read 48 hours,
No, 40 hours.
or 40 hours, not 48.
What I'm saying is, you're getting 60 hours of holiday pay a year, with the approved holidays here, if you're on 10s.
No, but it's 40 hours a week. So if they're choosing to get their work done in 40 hours versus 5.
Oh, no, she's saying there's enough holidays to make 6 8-hour days, or 6 10-hour days.
Yeah.
That are paid holidays.
Take, for example, Thanksgiving.
Holiday pay should be 8 hours.
Yes.
But then they only have 38 hours in their week, because they work 30 hours, and they had an 8-hour holiday.
Is it good? Thanksgiving where it's like, okay,
That's a
we're
problem.
4-day work.
Or do they have to take 2 hours of vacation to make up for coming to
No,
a holiday?
no, they shouldn't.
Right, so that's what we're trying to come by, like how do you even score there? How do you make that
If
fair?
you're an 8-hour employee, it would be an 8-hour day. If you're a 10-hour employee, it would be a 10-hour day, right?
No, because it's time and a half after 45 by law.
Oh, that's right.
Well, then it's like she said that then they have 60 hours a year for holiday if you're 10-hour a day, you only have 48 hours a year if you're an 8-hour, and that's not across the board. I don't have the solution, I'm just saying.
Can we look to see how other communities may deal with 10-hour day employees like this?
How many are
There's gotta be some wording. So it's be treated equally.
Nate and Nick are doing 10s, and I think
Michael.
Michael's doing 8s, right?
But he's doing the other two, the wrong.
Right.
So he's actually doing seven.
And then same thing as brought up the next paragraph down for sick pay, right? So if you get six days, do you get 60 hours of sick days, or do you get 48 hours of sick days? And that one gets a little bit more tricky, because then you can accumulate them, you
The solution there is to approve it by hour instead of by day.
Which is what she.
Yeah, yeah, we have to approve it by hour instead of by day, and then it plays out, because if you're a 10-hour day, you take 10 hours of sick leave.
It works for the sick day, but doesn't work for holiday pay. You can't earn your holiday pay. You can't earn 2 hours of holiday pay.
Right.
So it works for sick day and maybe even the personal day, but not holiday pay.
Okay, so if we go back to Thanksgiving as an example, so you've got Nate and Nick who work 10-hour days, so Thursday's a holiday, they get 10-hour holiday paid, they're back to 40 hours. And you've got Michael who works an 8-hour day, he gets paid 8 hours, and he works the next day. It's his choice, or his job, as it is 8 hours, and 10 hours. Holiday pay is the same as regular salary, regular pay.
If their work week is Monday through Thursday, right? If it's written in there that it's Monday through Thursday, 4 days, and you'll never hit overtime. I don't know
I think
what
it's
the
just
policy
their
is.
preference and it's
I
not
think we should come look at us, again, how other businesses in other communities do with this issue. You have split employees, some working 10-hour days and some working 8, how they handle it. Because either way, someone's getting the short end of the stick.
Well, it's a draw to work Monday through Thursday. Like if Marathon County could do it, we would be Monday through Thursday only. Because it's a perk.
That's right.
And so, I mean, I don't think we're gonna look at taking that away necessarily. Because, I mean, to find somebody, I mean, it's a perk. And so I think in that regard, and I don't know, I mean, I would like to take a little bit more time to look at this even, whether we table it or not, because then, I mean, for me, I can at least flex time. So I mean, I can go in, and work, I can go to work in at 6:30 in the morning, but my day normally doesn't start till 8. So I mean, I can flex, time. And then even with this, for holiday times, we ask them, come in 15 minutes earlier and stay 15 minutes late, for 4 days, that would make up the 2 hours, what's 15 minutes, or 30 minutes a day, 15 minutes before, 30 minutes after, I don't know. Oh, but, right.
We could, the city of Wausau, we can ask them, because they have 410 workers in the, yeah.
But I think you just said it
Because
was
the ones that do the.
Because now in Marathon County, we just went to, different departments are doing different things. But countywide, it went now, Maryland County normal business hours are now until Friday only till noon. So they expand everybody's hours Monday through Thursday, a little later, a little earlier, and a little later. But then certain buildings couldn't all agree, so then we're still at our 8 to 4:30. So I mean, and I think there too, sometimes the highway department has different hours too because of snow plowing and whatever their other stuff is too during.
Are we going too far into this? It's
I
one
know.
person, it's one person, 6 days. So if you did the 15 minutes, so that week, if it were written in there, that the week of a vacation day, that
Holiday.
holiday, I'm sorry, the week of a holiday, that they would 15 minutes earlier one day and later one day of that week.
Well, it could be their choice. Or their choice would be you're gonna get paid 8 hours of holiday pay that day, or that week. And if you're a 4x10 employee, then you're either gonna 38 hours that week, or you're gonna come in 15 minutes, or you're gonna work one extra day, or not one extra day, one extra hour, 2 days, or whatever, make up the 2 hours.
Right, you're gonna make it up.
Yeah, it's your choice to decide if you wanna get paid for 38 hours, or you wanna get paid for 40.
Well, put the cameras on this one.
I was more so just looking for clarification because
Nice
your
job.
current policy, your current policy says that it's an 8-hour holiday. And when I have
It
two
is.
people turning in timesheets with a 10-hour holiday,
Yeah.
I'm the bad guy for,
Well, then what we have to do is educate them to say, okay, it's an 8-hour holiday, and if you want those 2 extra hours, you just gotta put them in, you know.
Vacation,
It says
personal.
it- On their policy, it says 8 hours.
Right,
So
so
they
you
don't
have the
pay for
option
that.
of using vacation,
I don't know if they
personal,
actually have.
or comp time for those 2 hours.
Well, they need it.
Yeah.
It should be part of their, they should have the sign.
No, you're,
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
No, I
They
think,
do that.
I think
They could
it
say,
says
"Oh,
8
take
hours,
toward the
so
top."
I
Just
mean,
stay
the employer's not
vacation,
gonna be happy with
those 2 hours.
but the reality is 8 hours.
Yeah, no personal time.
just so we're.
Well, if there's, I mean, if there is, yeah, any of us can use, I would agree. That's, yeah, that solves the issue.
Leave it at holiday pay for 8 hours per year. That's my motion.
I'll second that.
And Jamie needs to explain it to them.
Leaving the holiday rate
Like
at
Jamie.
8 hours for a full day. Motion made and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Now, that
So
all,
what we were talking about is that, do you want something included in there that to make up that 2 hours, that they can take it in personal, vacation, or comp time?
Nope, if they have a question, because it's already in the policy, so if they didn't read the policy, then they need to come to our attention.
So when they hand her the timesheet, it says 10 hours, she's gonna say, sorry, you guys better make up 2 hours somewhere.
I would tell them tomorrow so they know ahead of time.
Right, so you don't-
before the July rolls around.
Right.
yeah.
But should we, then is the same thing gonna come around, like, well, that's not written anywhere?
So if
Like,
they
I can
always
make it
been
up
paid
in
10 hours?
personal, comp, or
I think so.
vacation. I'm just asking if you wanna have it in there so it's clear that they can make
They've been
it.
ahead of the game for a couple of years.
I would put it in.
It applies except on Tuesdays when we employ from the south.
Or they can get paid for 38 hours.
Or taking vacation.
For
Yeah.
vacation,
2 hours.
personal, or can they count it?
Well, if they have comp time, then they will count. If they're paid.
Like, I'm gonna work 11 hours today because I'm gonna have to make up my one night instead of the
I
15
think the way
minutes.
it's explained is working 4 10-hour days, I assume, is a perk.
Yes, it is considered that way. You know, so you have to adapt to the policy, you know.
And I would use Marathon County as the example.
So when they ask, am I getting paid 38 hours? And you say you have 2 hours, are you allowed to say you can make it up with vacation time, personal time, and comp
Yes.
time?
Yes.
Okay, that's my question. Okay.
Yep.
Do you want that in writing or no? Or is that a verbal? like they can work 40 hours, is it written down? I mean,
I
10 hour days
don't
is
know
written
that, I don't know,
down,
it's a
but
verbal, it's two employees, and just tell them this is a situation, it's because it's a holiday, you get paid 8 hours, but you can decide how you want to.
how you wanna make up those two?
Because we,
Okay.
this has always been the policy just because of
Which
the not
one
doing.
we can compare it to.
Yeah, that's a they can always think, yeah, that's a.
Okay,
Okay, so the next thing I got on there, like, the sick time currently says 6 sick
It
days.
should be.
So, yeah, that's where you run into it again, so that's why I put the 48 hours per year. And then at the end of it, the sick time will parent on an accrual basis, average 2 hours per pay period on 24 pay periods a year.
does that mean in the early part of the year, if they're sick and they haven't accrued it yet, they can't take it?
That's carry on.
Because it's kids. Well, what if it's their first year? If we do it in the higher and they haven't earned it yet, they're sick.
Then they use it, and you haven't earned it yet. You can't give them,
I know, but some people take sick pay because they got kids, and every one of these three guys have kids.
right, but they've all been there established, so they have a rollover, right? Right?
Do we have it
Yeah.
listed down, how much rollover they have? Do we have it?
I mean, it's.
It says here.
Just playing devil's advocate here, that if I'm gonna do higher and my kid is sick and I only have two, I'm just saying,
Well, if it's in the policy that you signed, that's the thing, then you bring it up as the new hire, you say, hey, I don't really like
There's a
this section.
receipt they sent.
There's a-
I'll give you.
You know, I mean, we can change it on their
You can,
contract.
yeah. Or you can also,
just asking.
the supervisor channels and say, hey, you're gonna get, you only have 2 hours or whatever. Work a couple extra hours this week and make it up, make some of it.
Yeah, we don't get sick pay, right? We get like
Yeah,
PTO.
PTO, and you can do it with vacation, sick, personal.
You should convert the 30 days to hours as well, and that's in there.
I think the sick pay, we follow that with WASA. What do you guys do?
Marion County does not have sick pay.
No sick pay anymore?
Just pay.
Just
Just
PTO.
PTO now?
Just
Just PTO now, okay. And then however you take it.
Which is mislabeled.
However you take it, if you take it.
It's mislabeled on the personal time off, it's actually for 10 time off, because the work is still there when you come back.
Yeah, right. If you do it the week, I don't work on it.
Yeah. Nobody does your work, so when you come back, it's still there. It's pretend time off.
Right?
So for this paragraph, we got a couple things going on here, and we can do it all in motion for one. So one is changing to 48 hours per year. One is changing 30 days to 240 days. Hours, I'm sorry, 240 hours, and then you want the sick time to be earned.
Yes.
You want all three of those items on there?
Yep.
Well, Ben's thinking, hold on.
Tell us, or make a motion. Tell us or make
Good
a
on
motion.
you.
Let's just make the motion.
How do you say that, Ben? So moved?
Right.
We have a motion for all three changes. Anybody want to second it?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to personal days.
That one's basically, I was just going to switch that, or
Same
suggest
thing.
switching that to 24 hours instead of
Yeah,
days.
over here. Yeah.
Anybody want to make a motion for that one?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Or any opposed, I'm sorry. Motion carried. Bereavement leave,
So that should be hours too, right?
And then, kind of, I mean, if you want to keep all uniform, that would be, switch it to hours, but. It's-
24 hours, 8 hours.
I've never heard of it. Yeah, I go there all the time.
Yeah, I never heard of reason pay, we get reason pay.
We never,
I do,
I didn't.
3
I
days.
guess we just did it, we just never had it written in the
You don't
24
have to take your vacation pay for bereavement.
So 24 hours and 8 hours, you're changing those two, right?
You want to make a motion for that, please?
It's Wes's turn.
It's present.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Moving on to vacation pay. James.
So that one, I just flagged because that first sentence, because it was the vacation year, ends at the date of hire. And then on the next page, it says that you can roll over maximum at the end of each calendar year. So if you start earning at the date you're hired, then it makes more sense to have it on your anniversary day versus.
Down the road.
Just more to keep track of, though.
Yeah, but it's
It's more complicated to keep track, that's what I
It's
did.
too confusing, we want to roll it over the first of the year. So, yeah, so starts
It's only
today.
the first year that it really matters, because, let's say you're hired in September, you earn 3 days, but you're not near the 80, so who cares?
Yeah. No, we want it to roll over the calendar year.
You just won't do anything with that.
Oh, yeah, I didn't have, yeah, but I just wanted to make sure that was on the same page. The next part is that you also allow employees to take 80 hours as a paycheck at the end of the year. So I would just prefer that the request from the employee be at the beginning of December, just to allow it in that same calendar year payroll. Otherwise, if Nate asks me about doing that on December 26th, then I have to track, because he's getting 80 hours as a check, plus the 80 hour rollover, so if I like them completely down to 80 hours, I at 0 hours of time, so just.
I get that.
And as far as wording, Jimmy, I would just say, request for this must be submitted in writing to the village clerk at the beginning of December, period. Or no later than December 5, period. You gotta tell them why. But we want it in writing, we want it to the village president and so the village clerk.
She's the one that-
And I would stick a date.
Yeah, instead of beginning of December.
Yeah.
So December, are you guys good with December 5th? Or-
Yeah.
Until it falls out Sunday.
Same day, same.
All right, for that sentence, should we go ahead and,
I'll make a motion to approve this.
I'll second it.
all right, motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Just a question, do we know why this maximum of 80 hours? I don't know.
That was,
It was set by the previous board.
That's not unusual.
I get to roll mine over,
All of it.
all of it.
So if you got 100 hours, you can keep going.
I max out at 320 hours. So, then after that, when you're working, I lose it after that.
So you have a cap, it's 320.
Yeah.
Well, the purpose of not having them build that is to force people to take some time off. Take time off, and it's also because all of a sudden you've got 320 days of vacation.
I'm sitting at 320 days vacation.
So you're gonna take a whole year off.
I have 320 hours of PTO.
Hours, yeah.
see it to, what, 2, 3, 4 months?
I don't understand the accounting behind that, but we're not allowed to do that at Marshall Clinic anymore because it costs the business some money. You have people just hanging on to their vacation time costs.
But I
It's
would say 10 years, I
detrimental,
mean,
yeah.
there's,
Yeah,
It's detrimental to the company in accounting, and so everybody is forced to
only
be able
carry.
to carry those hours.
And
I
I
don't
know,
quite understand the accounting behind it, but that was the reason for it.
and I know some places that you carry 40 or 80 hours over, but you had to use 40 of those hours by February.
I mean, I like being able to roll over that time because maybe you're planning a surgery
That's
or
planning
your
a
kid's
longer
grad or
vacation or
something, or you
whatever,
have a baby.
I'm
blue.
just,
Yeah,
I just had to ask, I just wanted to ask the
It's a
question.
good question. It's a really good question.
Yeah, so I don't think we want to get into managing, hey, you gotta burn up 40 hours, just carry over 40.
Just leave it.
If you're carrying over 81, you lose 1 hour. Right. It's gotta be capped. Otherwise, people like, man, just go on vacation and say, we'll see you in 320 hours. You do the math.
That one year I even had PTO for 40 hours, so I had. Let's calculate, how many weeks could I take off? And I don't want to come to that mess so either.
Next paragraph.
So the next thing I have is to strike PTO. Because it says upon separation of employment, that it may be paid out. But the only thing you get paid out for is vacation, like it says right in the sick pay that you don't get paid upon termination. So just strike PTO and then something about if employee separates from employment with the village with less than 1 year of service. So like, I would suggest requiring a 2-week notice from everyone, not just if they're.
Yep. It makes sense when we don't have PTO in the organization, right? At the same time, so PTO is irrelevant in this conversation. So,
Make a motion for that one, change to the employee and to make the other, to cross out PTO and the sentence on less than 1 year service.
I'm sorry.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Right, the next section. For uniform allowance, currently there's nothing written for uniform allowance. But the guys said that they receive reimbursement for like boots or gloves, whatever they might have. It's like 200
250.
You say something?
They do request that I get up to 600.
We should, in the paragraph, there should be something about an maximum.
Well, normally that would get set during budget season, your wage, or well, I've seen it set in your wage resolution, just so you don't have to redo this anytime you want to make a change to it.
And these guys all want these.
What is it, just uniforms, work pants, shirts.
They're still
This is gonna be,
Steel-toe shoes.
Yeah, still told shoes, they said, you know, they almost exceeded 250 just on one pair of boots. I'll vouch for that. For the next week, yeah.
I disagree with you. I used to get $80 boots and that's being used. On termination. How many ditches you been in, Judith?
I go to Red Ring and I get nice boots and my feet are worn, they're about $240. But
So
these
they
guys
get
are in
uniforms?
Yeah, it says a basic daily uniform.
So what is it?
They currently get uniforms through Vestas,
Festus, VSD,
but they also get a reimbursement for boots or gloves or
winter clothes.
that's $250 a year. So that's why in here, I put the,
Oh, so you're just spelling it out?
yes.
And then you
because
would
there
put the $250 a year at the end then, max?
No, she's saying we don't put it here, it's in the budget.
Yes.
Figure out how much per,
Or I've got the employees are eligible for uniform reimbursement to be determined by the annual budget for calendar year.
Okay.
Budget related. Alright.
So you don't have to put anything in there, but if they're currently receiving something, there was nothing.
Should be something, it should be something.
And they also ask that when it's on the pay stub, that they show balance of what they have. I'm not quite sure how
You can't do that.
can't do that.
No, I'm
Okay,
gonna say that,
just have to.
I've never seen a clear
In my
system.
previous life, I just had the spreadsheet tracker, and then when they received the reimbursement. it's
I don't know,
tracked
just
out.
like, okay.
Just I've not seen a clear system. That's an option.
Just maybe we'll do that.
Yeah.
I want to make a motion to add that, or any more discussion, pro or con?
All right, I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Let's see what else we have. I think that was it. Okay. Thanks for walking through that, that's really important to get it. Yeah, thank you.
Good job.
Hey, Jamie, this is the only board action, on page 7, at least my page 7, assuming they pass the ordinance, strike in personnel. And actually, I guess, let's talk about this. It was the Employees Finance and Personnel Committee, assuming you approve the ordinance tonight that was approved, limiting their scope of duties just to finance. I would recommend that the board change employee performance review to being the village board,
Yes.
Right.
or whoever you want to.
Village board, right?
What's that?
Village board instead of supervisors.
Correct.
Village board will conduct performance reviews.
What could be in conjunction with finance? Because it'll be a budget item.
Well, we don't have it.
Performance review.
We struck that as duties, I believe,
Yeah.
under the finance.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep. Okay.
I just want to, we're talking about,
Village board will.
To be village board will conduct performance reviews of all regular.
Just clean it up through all the
Annually, or at probably end of August, and then delete the last sentence. Finance.
Yep.
yeah, just, that can get deleted, because that's irrelevant. Because it's the village board.
Are we gonna wait for,
You need to make a motion on that, Mr. Shane.
Yeah, I will.
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Are we going to make a motion to approve the entire thing?
You just approved the entire, all the changes.
Okay, so
The document has already been approved by the previous board.
Yeah.
You just approved each of the alterations changes.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we move on
I
to,
will get you a receipt. One of the employees need to get a copy of this. This change, it's $8 from that sense.
Yeah.
If they never got some copy. It'd be weird because our employees always have to sign their policy.
we need to be on the AC. Finance Committee ordinance. So at the May 26th board meeting, changes were requested to be made to the Finance and Personnel Committee, now the Finance Committee, and this is a clean copy that you all wanted presented before. Or these are the changes, so.
And what I did is I followed the document that was given to me. For the most part, I made some extra changes and stuff.
Well, personnel should be taken out of the heading, right?
All released, all
Not gonna tie it in anything.
I'm sorry. No, because that is the title of that is the current title of our committee. If you look down here,
Mhm.
under the new ordinance, it says, we're changing it, here's how we're changing it. I
Okay.
struck the words in personnel.
Okay.
We're gonna throw it 3 times that, so.
I'm good with it.
Make a motion, we approve it. As presented.
Russ and Jenny, we're good. Oh, good. I'll second it then.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We move on to the finance committee application and trustee nominations. So now that we have an approved finance committee ordinance, we can take nominations for the 2 trustees, preferably with financial or budgeting experience or banking experience, forecasting experience, that will serve on the committee. This will be a 2-year appointment.
Consistent with your term. So we're less than 2 years.
We'll have to change the dates, of the application, due dates. Oh, no, July, I'm sorry.
We will have to change on the application. On the bottom, it still says personnel.
Yeah,
and
I did.
finance. You did,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, thanks for catching me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like your address now,
Yeah.
you put a comma between your city and state.
Really?
Yeah, post office doesn't do that. So, nominations for
So since,
serving on the committee?
since we can never talk outside of here because it's a forum, who's interested in finance? Can we do that?
Well,
Is that, can it be part of our
do
discussion?
we have to approve the finance committee application or just the trustee?
We're gonna approve the application to be due on July 3rd, and then for selection
July
made on
13th.
July 13th, or earlier if we need in June, again, by the end of the month. But right now, we're looking for trustee nominations.
It's not a lot of numbers, okay?
You're not?
I said, I'm not a numbers guy, but I'll do it.
Well, I nominate Bruce Reynolds.
Ben, do you want to do it?
Does anybody want to second? Bruce or no?
Second, Bruce.
Okay, we have Bruce.
Your feelings, Bruce?
Can they both go?
All abstaining.
Conflict.
Have a conflict. You can
All in
flip it by-
favor of Bruce for the finance committee?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? One more.
So they meet once a month, right? I would do it, but I would rather meet on other board.
You can be on both.
She goes retirement right now.
Yeah,
That's my problem.
You can bring the kids.
Commit, yeah, commit so much time.
Sure.
No.
You're a village trustee.
Oh, I can be on, but I don't think I have time. I know I don't have
I
time.
thought
I
it
have a
said
full-time job.
president was.
No, it says it in here.
President,
No, president.
Originally, the ordinance said the village president was an ex officio member, which means you're there just because.
Then amended one.
That was struck.
It was struck.
yeah.
But the village president is a village trustee. Anyone as a village trustee with superpowers can live with that. And now, they have a right to vote just like you do.
Here's the thought, how about rotating?
Well, our ordinance says that we just revised.
Well,
That'll be 2 members,
If you want.
2 years concurrent with their elected term.
I know, it's just like, oh, we could rotate.
How about that? You'll do it? I'll nominate Ben. How's that? I'll nominate Ben as finance.
I will second that.
Kevin, you okay with that?
Hey, steady. I'm fine, I mean,
All right,
let's not get too deep into it.
all right. And for the finance committee, motion made and seconded, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. The finance committee application, are you guys good with this application? Well, the application, I think this has been previously approved by the board, it's just that the due date on July 3rd. Yeah, it's just a due date that we're looking at. You okay with the due date being July 3rd and being that member selection going? I wish the member selection was like
And
at the
eliminating,
next board meeting, you know?
and eliminating that little, where it says personnel and finance committee on the application.
Oh, I thought that was already,
I
see
did
right
it on
here?
my copy, but he
Oh.
pointed it out that on this one, it's still there.
Oh,
The,
It's,
I mean, how are we gonna get this information out to the public? I mean, I'm okay with the July 3rd date, but that's actually just, 3 weeks away. How are we gonna get it out to the public to know that they're there? We don't want people going, oh, I didn't hear about it.
Actually, we have three residents that serve on the committee. We have Matt Kozer, Aaron Mataki, and Joe Yell.
Right.
Well, they serve for 2-year term. So Aaron's and Joe's terms are not up yet. So you already have 2 residents that are on the committee. You have Aaron Mataki and Joe Yell. And we have Matt Kozer, but Matt Kozer let me know that due to the time for his travels a lot, that he is going to resign. So you're filling one position. Was I right on that, Shane?
Are you
Yeah.
resigning that?
Okay, so it goes back to the finance committee.
Because that was a 2-year term. The only thing that changed was the trustee committee. The
You
trustees.
changed the
were 1-year
name of the
term,
individuals.
and then you changed the
You
trustees
just
from
took
1
away
year
a
to
bunch
2
of their
years.
duties.
Right, so we just have to have one applicant.
You only need one applicant.
Okay, well then let's, yeah, I mean, I'd like to see, I mean, somehow, something out there that, so, you know, so we have people that say, oh, I would have been interested if I knew about it.
So what's left on these other 2 people's terms?
Oh, I gotta go back and find that.
No,
Because that really doesn't work out with our plan. Our plan was to get people in for 2 years, so they.
Well, we could always renew those people,
Right, yeah. we make-
because they're in for, they've been in probably, it's been almost a year now, probably.
1 year left.
Yeah, so they have 1 year left, but as they come up, we could say, okay, you know, we're good with it, we could renew them for another year, or the committee could say, we're gonna seek, other applicants.
Well, and technically, you could take the position since Mr. Kozer is resigning, all you're doing is appointing a new member to fill that remaining term on his, you know, no different than if you resigned, then we would appoint, the board would appoint somebody to fill your term. Because we gotta start catching, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I just wanted, down the road when we get the better system to be able to broadcast information. We'll have a tool. Yeah, right, we're gonna have one position to fill. Okay,
Since this is on the agenda for discussion and action, does anybody have a motion to approve this and the July 3rd due date?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion. Motion made and seconded, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Next one is the municipal projects. and
Was Bruce's question answered really though at the end of this? Like, how are we gonna get this? It's a valid question, that's why I'm hesitant. And that's that was my, how do we get people to know about this, to be involved about it? I mean, it's great to post it, I understand we have a deadline to meet, but in the end though, it's like, I would rather just push this back one more besides the July 3rd, so at our next meet, or So we meet on the 13th, is that our next July meeting thing?
Mhm.
I'm just saying, so that way,
We don't miss any opportunities.
right,
That's what I was concerned about.
that is my total concern here.
Then
I
you-
wanna get
So I guess
people.
we can see what applicants we get.
I guess,
You know,
that's true. All right,
And we have a lot less time for the budget.
right, I understand that, it's just, we're all about, you know, especially for finance, let's have the best, you know, town people that we have, the village people we have on this board to deal with financing and to make sure we're pulling the best out of it.
And the other thing we could do, even though we're filling one position, if we get 4 applicants,
Hang on to them.
we can hang on to them. We can
Correct.
also say, you're welcome to come to the meeting and provide some input.
Well,
Unpaid.
no.
Unpaid.
Oh, right, but,
Because they're
but isn't
spectators.
it the same, yeah, as spectators, but isn't the same as here, is that you just can't have public comment during it, so you can't really just let them partake in the meeting. Yeah, you can't, because you have to set an agenda.
Right, right.
Okay, so the Public Works and Public Property Committee, now dealing with the municipal projects of the Public Committee. So.
Just, the board should have received, I see it's not for you to take action, I think you already approved it.
Right,
But just for the edification of the board, you just change, just like the last one, it says the wrong name at the top, but it's the new name, and then the brilliant legal work of copying and pasting and changing the name, because you really wanted the same as the finance.
Yeah.
So,
so these changes reflect just the new title for the municipal projects and public property committee. Now that we have an approved committee ordinance, we can take nominations for the trustees for further construction, maintenance, road experience that will serve on.
All right, I'll step up on this. If anybody wants to nominate me.
I'll nominate Dan.
I'll second that. Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
I nominate Wes for this.
I'll decline.
Oh, nominate Bruce for it.
Second that.
Finance.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor for Bruce?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay. So this one, this application reflects the ordinance language and an application due date of July 3rd for member selection on July 13th. This is going to be for 3
This was the same problem on the bottom.
residents. Yep. So fixed it in the Word document. Yeah. And then actually the Word document will say Village of Maine municipal projects and public property committee, and then it'll actually say the version 1 will be April, it'll be 6/8/2024. Will be the date that it is.
Since we're approving both of these applications, I mean, is it possible we could send out a postcard to everybody in the village?
no, so thoughts.
I'm just saying though, how are we
gonna get the word out?
that's just it, are we putting it in the paper?
I just want to put it on the website and then at our posting locations for news notices. Just. We can put it in the newspaper.
Yes, everybody, how many people in the village of Maine read the paper?
Can it be shared in the happenings? Village of Maine happenings, but or Facebook page, you put on there. Any one of us can put it on there, right? It's on there.
Just post the
You can post, can they post it on there?
Because where we
I'm
want,
not
there's no rule.
I'm not part of it, so if you want to put a book on there, then.
I'm not on Facebook at all, so.
Well, I just.
That's a great idea.
Doesn't the village of Maine have a Facebook page?
There's not one that's managed by the village.
Oh, there's
But Bruce and I talked about that, maybe that, we'll talk about it next time. It's not on the agenda, but not yet. posting it on the village website, posting it on the places that we post the agenda, and Dan's gonna post it on the happenings.
I'll just take a picture of it, yeah.
Facebook.
Put some stuff. I'll put a
Jay,
post
is
on.
there anything we can do on the homepage?
That's where I was kind of like breaking the, I think it's called the resort.
Okay, yeah,
I think it's called, yeah.
on the banner page, yeah, on the homepage.
That was our plan to have it be the first thing that gets moving.
Like that.
Where do we post the agendas at?
So, where do we what?
Post the agendas. Oh, it's here, Red Granite, the post office, and Richards.
The Brokaw Post Office, they've got a banner outside, and then Richards, Red Granite on their banner.
Yeah, I was just curious, because the agendas don't say that, so that's why I asked.
Okay, so we need a motion to, no. No, to.
To approve the application
Application dates.
and member selection.
I think the information or the questions on here are specific enough. I think we need to. Let's see how it works, see if it's actually working. Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we accept it, the application and the due date.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We'll move to number 20, Village Board Meeting Rules of Procedure. This item was requested by Wes.
Real simple, I just don't think we need 2 meetings a month. So I'd like to eliminate the cycle.
I'm sorry.
I'd like to limit to 1 meeting a month.
Oh,
So all I would do, Wes, is take 815.130 sub A and delete the words "and forth." And it'll just simply say regular meetings of the village board shall be held at the village hall, blah, 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 on the second Monday of every month at 6 p.m.
That's my motion.
I mean, that means that if we need another one in 2 weeks, then it's a special.
Right, because that's a regular meeting.
Then we'll work with
B.
everybody on your schedule.
B calls for special meetings, may be called by the village president or two trustees in that.
Because we might have one in 2 weeks.
I understand Wes's position, but we're just kind of getting our feet underneath this and going. I'm a little leery about doing once a month. I mean, I like to maybe say revisit that in 3 months or 4 months or something. Still trying to get things done. Okay.
We can always cancel that second meeting. We
That
can always
doesn't
say,
help your plan.
well, the reason it helps us planning is that everybody has it on the calendar, especially if
Well,
we.
you have to have a second and fourth meeting.
What's
The
it we
ordinance
have
is
to?
because that's your regular meeting. Sure it does. Regular meetings of the board shall be held.
Ah, got it. Is there verbiage that?
That's why you have special meetings.
Okay.
Your point the first time is correct.
Okay.
She may call special meeting, or you guys may call special meetings in 2 weeks, in a day.
But I think Wes's point is he wants to remove the second and the fourth Monday on A. Right?
He wants
He
to
wants to
remove the
just
fourth
remove-
one.
Just for the second Monday.
He wants to delete the words "and fourth."
And correct.
Okay, right, so there will only be 1 meeting on versus
It's
2.
required one meeting. There may be, if you look at B, there may be special meetings, and to Judith's point, like the last board is.
We had 27 special meetings,
And I'm aware of how
Yeah.
it works.
so
But the mandatory meeting is going to be 2 to 1.
or,
And have special meetings.
or Bruce,
Oh, yeah, or leave it at the 2.
we'll leave it as 2, and Bruce said and revisit it in a couple months.
As I said, that's just my thought. Once things settle down and we get into a rhythm. And also, once the committees are up and running too. So, just my 2 cents worth.
Totally entitled to. I know it won't be the second one in June, I can't make. And I've got plans in July also.
I've got October, so I'm gonna miss one in October. I think it's eventual, that everybody's gonna
I
miss.
think the old
Yes.
board took the summer and made it just one meeting, because I think it had.
Because you begged
I
us.
begged them. Because I'm going in July. Yeah. Just like you guys.
You guys have been pretty responsive when we needed special meetings, I have to say. We got them scheduled pretty quick. So,
I mean, it's, just like I said, I just said my 2 cents worth. I'm not strong.
And I respect that.
Yeah, I'm not strong. for
This
it,
doesn't.
I'm just not, I'm same thing. Doesn't really matter. I think the special meetings are just gonna get called until you paid more for special meeting, or is it more? No, that's what I'm trying to stop, you know what I
No
mean?
overtime.
It's on call pay.
I think I hit my 40 going through all the numbers this week.
I'm somebody putting me up boots. I mean, boots for a penny.
So, but if we leave it the way it is, as, you know, and Wes's intention, we leave it the way it is, we can't cancel the 4th meeting. If we wanted
It is
to,
required.
it's required.
Your regular meetings are the first and second Monday.
Okay.
can you put language in that unless?
No, I'm just thinking,
And
go
it
back.
is,
Yeah, I think if we go back to Wes's comment, suggestion, and saying, okay, because you're right, if we have second and fourth, we're required to have that meeting, both of them. But if we change it to once a month, and we say, like I'm saying, okay, I'd like to go twice a month, or just, summer's a bad time, but for the next couple of months while we're getting going on things, you know, we can say yes or no on that, so. Okay, you made the motion.
I made a motion, and, you know, if no second to die, that's fine.
No, I guess I'm okay with it.
Or how's it work?
He's gonna strike the 4th. We said second and fourth.
So we'll just say on the second Monday of every month.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What, we're having the 4th Monday, or striking the 4th?
Striking.
Right, so we just have the second Monday. Okay.
And then,
But that's the mandatory. That's the regular.
Yeah, right, and then we can have a special.
I mean, the beauty of the special meetings are you don't have to have them on Mondays. Wednesdays are
Yeah,
or majority.
right.
well, yeah. Ideally, the whole.
Yes.
Wes has made a motion, I'll second it.
All right, motion made and seconded to remove the 4th Monday of every month. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I'm just going to change it. See what it's saying.
So the next thing on the agenda. All right, so this is going to be a little lengthy, okay? So the next thing on the agenda is going to be, Wes has to have the agenda for the public works like answers to who, and also the 2026 road projects. So I am going to start here. All right, so this is who answers to who. This is the hierarchy. The village president, board of trustees, committees and commissions, public works foreman, and then the answer to the village labor employees, full-time and part-time, answers to the public works foreman. It's a discussion and action, so I'm not really sure what action.
Well, I was just, really what, I mean, it was, in the past, it was always clear, everybody pretty much took care of public works, and it seems like from the discussion, Nate is kind of picking up some of those duties, and, I mean, which is fine, I just, I would kind of just like things clarified how we're gonna run things.
So the DPW, they've asked for some changes, and the way that, like, one thing they wanna do is they wanna see a 5-year street plan, listed up by when roads are due for crack fill and chip seal. We wanna know, all the road issues that need to be addressed, the urgency, how much it's gonna cost, and the annual weed work, and what the annual budget allows, including loans that need to be spent. 2, they also asked to have at least 6 months' notice or more on larger projects. For road paving, what they want to have is a year to prep the road, go through the frost cycle, complete finish work, and then pave the road. This will produce a much better road service result. 3, they asked to be provided a public works budget and a monthly breakdown of where the money was spent and what remains. They haven't seen a public works budget, and they would like to see one, which is absolutely fantastic. Number 4, they want to be included in talks with REI, the road engineers. I was actually surprised that Josh and REI had never met our public works foreman. They're both dealing with the roads, but they haven't been in meetings together. Josh was able to show us maps and road issues that Nate was not aware of, and vice versa, and Nate was able to tell Josh of road issues that we're not aware of, and it makes a big difference of how we plan it. Right now, what happens is, in the past, they got sticky notes. The public works guys got sticky notes, and residents reported road repair needs. Now they get a text. They get a text from myself or Jamie, whoever gets the call. They had said they like that better because then they don't have to worry about losing their sticky note. They have a text. Like today, I sent them 3 different texts and pictures. Like, this person called in, they sent me a picture, this is the problem, they said, okay, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna look at it, this is what we're gonna do. So that's how we talk it through right now, and then I mark it down. One thing that Bruce and I looked at, just on one of the websites, that was a great tool, but a little bit pricey, is that you can actually have a great tool that says the address, what has to be done, when it was addressed, and when it's gonna complete it, and it's right out there. But I'm gonna try to figure out more of a manual tool, because it's $7,000 to have that tool. That's a little bit pricey, but it was a great tool. But if we can mimic it and do it that way. For larger roads, I go with them physically to look at the issues. We look at them together. We make a list of the problems and possible solutions. In some cases, we bring in the engineer from REI, or we bring in our zoning administrator, and then I will bring the road issues to the board for approval. When able, DPW will complete the project or prep for larger works, and then the other things we'll do for bids. So I'm going to show you right now the ones that they have as their road projects. And there's more. This is what we had as of a month ago. For this first one, this is Apple Lane. So Apple Lane has a cul-de-sac prep work that they want to do in August or September 2026. So what WPS, we need them to queue to move this utility pole. So it's, can we turn off this light for a second? Joe, would you turn off the light?
I gotta move anywhere, I'm just gonna walk.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah. All right, so what you can't see is over here, this is an abandoned house, it's condemned. They're thinking about taking that down. All the other, for some reason, this pole right here is like right on the road. It's right there, and then there's a Frontier station right next to Pedestal Rock, so that'll have to be removed because they've already removed everything from that house. And then I'm supposed to call WPS, get them queued up to remove the utility pole, and then let Josh and REI know when it's been moved. This has already been surveyed, as you can see. It's already had land given. Betty had worked with these residents here to give up that road, and it's going to be a teardrop cul-de-sac. And down Apple Lane, And then, so REI marked those points over 5 years ago, but it's just, time just wasn't right, money wasn't right, didn't happen. So DPW is requesting that they restake it by early August in the center line and the edge states. And they already priced that out to be about $500 for REI. There's a cost estimate to stake that, and that I'll need board approval for. DPW wants to work on this road this August and early September. I don't have an estimate yet for how much that'll cost, but they want to work on Apple Lane and get that prepped for next year paving. One resident wants it paved, 2 residents don't. I still have to sort, hoping the committee helps sort those things out. And, the whys behind it and things like that. So that's Apple Lane. So that one, if we can get,
Can I ask you a quick
Yeah.
question? Is this, right here, he's got the road ending right here?
that's a private drive.
Okay. That,
That's our private drive, right there. What Nate, our public works owner, wants to do though, is he wants this road spec'd for the future. So the folks here and here have really valuable property. And if they want to sell it in 5 to 10 years, he doesn't want the road built out for just what's there now. He really prefers to have the road built out for when it's more developed. And it's ready for that development. But the first thing that has to happen is that one telephone pole is right on the road. So that's the first one, and so this one I'm requesting $500, and we have $700,000 in planning in our budget for planning and consulting available. So for this one, I'm asking for $500 for REI to stake this road for the work for August, September, for our DPW. I'm gonna go back to all of those, but I only have 3 from REI. Okay. All right. Our next one is Cloverdale. So Cloverdale needs ditching, it needs a new culvert. So what happens at the end of this road, there's a culvert that goes up to this house here, which is Mike Golden, and it's just smashed. So at first we thought that we could do a hammerhead back there because the plow truck can't plow around. This road here does not exist. This road does not exist. This is Cassidy for future, and this makes Cloverdale come all the way around. So at first, Public Works thought they could do a hammerhead up here because right now they plow it in, and they thought if they can put a better culvert in Mike Golden's driveway, then they can plow, they can back up, and then they can get on there. But when we met with Josh, with Nate, he said you can't do that. There's some restrictions on why we can't do that, and that he would like a cul-de-sac. However, not a cul-de-sac up there because there's some new wetland things we have to be aware of. If we did a cul-de-sac, he'd want it down here. But Josh said it's gonna be conversations with different people who own land to be like, okay, like over here, this is Witters. And so if you do a cul-de-sac here and you vacate this and this, are they okay if you're not having a road there for future use? And are the other people okay? Because you can't lock them in.
By the state statute, you can't landlock a person.
Can't landlock them, right, so there's some more discussions that have to go on here, but this is a trouble area. At the end of Cloverdale, it's a trouble area because the plow trucks cannot, and neither can the garbage trucks. You're just stuck at the end of the road. So that one, REI gave an estimate of $1,000 for meetings and drawings, like we need for approval for them to go ahead for Cloverdale. Okay. Another trouble one is Keller Drive. Now what you can see with Keller Drive is the road isn't where, the road is here. This is where the road is supposed to be. So on Keller Drive, it's 1.3 miles. We just had 2 new homes come up here. We have another one that's gonna go up here. This is a really busy road and a lot of people are buying on it. It's a lot of residents. And so what we have to do is there's some really large rocks around here, I mean monsters, and there's some big stumps that are there. And so Betty had brought a proposal last year from somebody, but the trustees they tabled it because it was like an open-ended proposal to clean up the rocks and the stumps. We've got some big rocks and stumps, the road needs to be raised and the road needs to be moved. So Nate asked if REI could stake the first 80 feet on the north side because he doesn't think the current stakes are correct. He just wants to make sure before they go in here and they start cutting trees, they want to make sure that they got stakes in the right place. REI estimated about $1,000 to put in those first stakes on the first 8 feet of the north side of the road. DPW would like to start that this fall and winter, and then into the spring to be cutting out this. Some of the problems are, you can see how close it is. So this guy's still
That road's
painting.
been there for more than 20 years. I can talk to Joshua.
About
The
that?
road's been there for more than 20 years. The village already has a prescriptive easement, so you wouldn't have to move it.
You can keep just,
You just keep the road where
and
it's
then
at.
widen it, and then.
Widen it or
yeah.
vacate part of it, to clean it up better. But those are things we talk to the surveyor about. To talk to Joshua.
Talk to Josh about. And so, but he does want to, Nate does want to get in there and work on that, but he wants them to stake that before they do that.
Well, it sounds like you need to talk to
To Josh.
Josh before we start on doing anything on that project.
On this one, on Kelly.
Yeah,
Well, and the other question I have is, how is Keller Drive created? Is it a CSM? Because if it's a CSM, then it's typically deeded, or the village owns it in fee. A lot of old township roads are easement roads. So I mean, the other question I have for Josh is, how is Keller, A, when was it created, and B, how?
Okay, so for this one, we want to come back to the table with Josh.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's another thing on the end of Keller. So Keller keeps going down and then it turns, right? And so these folks here are paying, this is their property, they're paying for the road to be on their property. You keep going this way, that's the map, line. So,
That's probably the same thing, it's been there 20 years, right?
Yeah.
That's probably the same thing, it's been there 20 years. It doesn't-
And that was the question on that other one that you looked at, just because I don't know.
I was with us and I went down that road.
If he wants to
You live down
vacate
there?
it, we gotta make sure you let vacate.
Go down.
oh, the bus will
Build
go
it
down
right.
that road.
If
Yeah.
you
Been
let
there
them-
20+ years.
Yeah, right.
And so there does have a culvert that it's smashed, they said. You might be able to, there's a certain thing that came across for the size of culvert that you might be able to get grants on, that I'm gonna ask again about this one. But this culvert is a problem, and we didn't know if we had to buy back frontage from this gentleman here, but this one is, I don't know, this one, Keller's complicated. And then if you keep going down, you keep going down, and for some reason it just stops before it really ends too. I don't know, Keller's a tough one. They said Billy Goat Hill, that requires the most maintenance that they do. It's dangerous for the plow trucks, they hate going down. Billy Goat and the school buses. If you look down the hill, there's Breaker Rock that goes part of the way down. It should go down further because it continues to wash out. But there's an issue with culverts, there's an issue with the resident, not an issue with the resident. There's just some things that need to be discussed a little bit further, something that I would want the committee to look a little bit further at Billy Goat Hill. Warden and DPW think you start bulldozing and blasting from the top down. The problem is right on the top is a driveway for 7411, but however, he does have another driveway further down, so maybe it's not quite a big issue, but that is the most maintenance that happens on that, and their scariest road that we have in the village. On North 60th, I call it Rebella's Bridge, it's right where Rebella's having tree farm. So that one has a wall pushing over, it looks like, between the connection of the bridge and the road. DPW, they patch it all the time, they said. It may need a box culvert, and I see that we already have like a pending response, or maybe we can get a grant for that. And so I contacted Marion County, and we do have a DNR report on it. And so that one I'm searching for the latest bridge inspection, and we'll come back to Rebella's, but it's an issue that causes DPW constant maintenance and trouble. West Wausau Avenue, if you have driven down West Wausau Avenue. So what they did when they cleared it on their side is they took the big rocks and they chucked it on our side, because we're on one side of Wassa Avenue and Wassa's on the next. And so it's always pot patching and it's always washing out from road, from number 3311 and 3411. And the guys want to work on it in the fall. One of the problems is there's some very large trees in there. And so they're gonna have to have either the tree toppers come down and take out the trees. But they put the city rocks in there, it runs over the shoulder and then it runs out and then they gravel it, they said almost monthly. And they wanna ditch it and they wanna lay rock correctly. They said that they can do the work, they don't think they have to bid it out. But once those trees are out, so that's another road, it's just a little bit, it's an issue that they want to get fixed, that's one of their big ones. North Falcon. So when you come down North 28th and Falcon, there's a house right here, and all of these are ash trees, and they're all dying. But the problem is, and I took a picture of the culvert, and I didn't add it, I should have. This culvert here is all smashed. And so it is running down this road, and it's just kind of eating away here. It's almost like the curb should keep coming around a little bit so that it stops washing out this culvert. They have to remove the ash trees. They might want to look doing that this year. Talk to James Moore, who helps as well. He'd be able to help. And this one needs a new culvert. A lot of them need a new culvert. This is North 28th. So this is the farthest part of North 28th. There's so many sections of North 28th. And so this one is kind of weird. And so this gentleman here, he raises Texas Longhorns. You ever just want to go down there and look at his Texas Longhorns? They're actually pretty cool. But this road actually stops right here, and then it's like a little four-wheeler trail that goes back here to a shed. That's over here. The cul-de-sac is really supposed to go here. And Josh was like, ugh, he doesn't like having to clear all this and go do, and it goes down the hill. As soon as you go down there, he would actually like to have the cul-de-sac here, but we need to get both of these people to get up somewhere to do that.
We can't see your printer.
Oh,
It's
I'm
not,
sorry.
no, that's okay, just so you know.
Up there,
I see where the circle is, yeah.
yeah, so that's, thank you. And so this one, another one where they thought maybe they could do a hammerhead, because right now they just plow, and then they were hoping for a hammerhead, but Josh said no, it's gonna have to be a cul-de-sac and not a hammerhead. So that's one that they're looking at. North 28th Avenue. So North 28th Avenue up here by the apartments and things. So one of the problems is this person here, they pump out their water onto the street. They don't know if it's an underground spring, but it looks like they have they have it being connected to their gutter, going under their ground, and then it pushes out into the road, and then it causes a big puddle of ice all winter. So it's an expensive job, but DPW said that it's a complicated fix because the catch basin is on the wrong side. The catch basin is over here. And you have to put a honeycomb basin here. And they said it's actually like $8,000 to $10,000 job. But since that water runs out, it's just floods it with ice all year round. Then at Flagstone, when you're driving down there, this is what it looks like. There's just this one stretch, and it's just garbage road that we're gonna have to do a big on that one. This one you guys have probably seen. So over here, this is Richard Supper Club, and this is that corner. And if you even went by there today, you can see it looks like this. That looks like a big puddle. There's always a big puddle there. The thing is, it's super complicated because you have electric, and then you have electric across the road, and then there's a drain in there, but it's not a storm drain, it's a sewer one in the middle. And so they're not sure if you like dig it out around the corner and then you cross it over 36th Avenue to go out in that field. But there's optic fiber there, there's frontier lines there, there's gas lines there, there's just a lot of stuff going on over there. Or do you cut right across Flagstone and then you start running it down, all of these culverts? The problem is the first culvert for the first person is good, the second culvert is bad, and as soon as it hits the second house, it's gonna flood the road. So this one is no easy solution. So the committee can tackle this one, go over there, take a look at it, and see what to do on that one. And then along 36th Avenue, there's a couple of them of residents who really need culverts. They're just all dirt, roads running over, and then it causes rework for DPW all the time because their culverts aren't getting taken care of, and so it's running over the road. This is Circle Drive. This one is pretty nasty. If you guys go down Circle Drive in Decatur, that means a culvert. It's just mashed in there. It's got a huge hole coming down. DPW said they can do the initial work, but then they're gonna have to have a bid for paving that over. On Decatur, there's 2 places that need culverts. They're causing issues across the road. If you drive down Decatur, you can see that these patches of gravel where they're just trying to fill in the dips. And then you have the other extreme where we have 8 culvert bumps that they hit with their plow. There's 8 different bumps around the village roads that they hit with their plow that's gonna have to get filled out in front, filled out in back. And they said they can't do their work because of the hot asphalt. Somebody's gonna have to come and maybe bid all 8 bumps at once, Fill them out, fix them, and bring them over. That's the problem with the plow trucks. And then on Auburn, West of 28, that one needs a culvert, and that one might qualify for a grant because the grant is very specific on the size. So I have to talk to that gentleman again, so we'll see about that one. And then lastly, these are just ones on 60th, 9155 to 9280. What happens is, I think that's the one where Banner East is on. And so what he's doing is going off the road and breaking off the side of the road. And then the water follows his wheel, their real, I can't say my RCW, sorry. The water follows the wheel ruts, and then they need some pothole overlay there. They would like to make the road wider so that the trucks, stop breaking off the edge. At Nogger to L to Rainbow, they need to cut trees, they need to ditch it, they need to gravel it. They said they keep fixing that stretch, and there's years of more gravel on that road. Kern is I don't know what to do there. So if you go down Kern, it just ends, and there's a little tiny place where they can kind of turn around. But they were thinking like they could make that a hammerhead and put in some road base when they get it. So we talked to that when we were talking with Josh, and he said you can't. He said that's actually been discussed several times with Eddie and the residents, and no solution was. It didn't end well, got loud, people left, nothing got solved. So he said that one is going to just take some real negotiating to see what can be done on the end of Kern. North 60th, then the County Road A needs a small section of road patched. Second and County Road A needs a blacktop. That's over by, is it Schmidt's bar? Schmidt's? Yeah, Schmidt's Road. So as long as nobody's there now, right where it all goes down this short blacktop area, and then it hits gravel on 72nd, but that's really rough right there. That needs an overlay. And then 72nd and Main Drive. This is the one that we share with Berlin. Berlin keeps 3 miles, we keep 3 miles. But it's not like half of the road and then half of the road. They keep 3 miles and then we keep 3 miles. And you can tell which are their 3 miles. They're ditched, they're graveled, they're done well. They would really like to be able to get in there, ditch that, cut out trees, cut out the brush, and then put on a bunch of gravel. As long as far as he knows, it hasn't been gravel. We don't have an agreement with them, so I do have an email out there. It's actually on Tim Hahn, who's their chairperson at EMT. Is their chairperson, to see if we can come up with some kind of agreement with Berlin. Yeah, we should have one. So that one is in the works as well. That's the end of my slideshow of the ones that we know about. We got 2 more today. I called in and sent pictures on And they're on, one is on 28th Avenue, right before Highland Church. On the left-hand side, there's a big pole building in the back. Her culvert is just, it's just overrun. You guys will go look at it and ditch it for her. And then I can't remember the other one, another ditching job, another culvert job. And part of the hard part about the culverts is we don't have a solid ordinance about culverts. And so it's always like, whose responsibility is it? So if it belongs to, if the first so many feet belong to the village, do you take care of the culvert, or does the resident take care of the culvert? And so you gotta get that, you know, so who pays for it?
Oh my God, yeah.
Who pays for that? All right, so that was road projects. So the one that I have to go back to on the road projects is I have those three things. I have Apple Lane for $500 for REI for them to stake it. Cloverdale, $1,000, and then for the meetings, and then Keller, we were gonna pause on, you said, until you could be, like Josh can be in on that one. And unless you want to.
All I was just saying is I think they could approve all of them tonight, but I just want the opportunity to talk to Josh, maybe.
Then at least they can get in there and state it for DPW that we requested,
Right.
so that,
But
They
if,
can have
but if
some
after I
flex.
talk to Josh, he says, yeah, I agree, we don't need to do this, maybe he doesn't, you should approve it, but I want to talk to Josh, and I already told you the questions I'm asking.
yeah, either way, the trees have to be cut, the rocks have to be taken out, or the stumps have to be taken out. I mean, either way.
The whole, the scope of the project, probably kind of said the same, but it might shift over.
Correct.
Because the road might stay where it's at. Most
Ideally,
likely.
it stays where it's at.
Right, so they
So
haven't
there won't be as
staked it
many trees to go along, it's just,
out, haven't staked it out where it is now.
yeah, well, we don't do that until we find out where.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's just a couple, I mean, Josh knows what I'm asking, and I just need 20 minutes of his time on those two roads.
Yep.
Because there's one that had going south that he was gonna stake, I'll ask him.
Apple Lane is the one that's gonna have the teardrop cul-de-sac.
Yeah, but then there's one south about talking about
Cloverdale.
going, about vacated parts.
Yeah, that's Cloverdale and
Cloverdale.
Cassidy. So that's.
Because remember, there's also a statute that requires us to have a public right of way, and I think the river's over there. On one of them, isn't it? I'll ask Josh.
Yeah. So that's what I'm looking for tonight, for Josh to get going, is the $500 for Apple Lane, $1,000 for Cloverdale, and $1,000 for Keller. All for, was staking Apple, and staking Keller, but Cloverdale. Staking it, he wants to meet with his people because it's in new wetland, and where you would even put the cul-de-sac for Cloverdale.
And that would be coming from which budget?
It is called planning and consulting,
Planning and consulting,
78,000.
78,000.
We're halfway through the year and I don't think we've spent that.
No, it's been
That's awesome. It'd be cool if we could go the whole year. We can give it back. Can we,
Gee, responsible government.
Oxymoron. So we're looking for one approval for three, but Shane's gonna follow on two.
I'm just letting the board know, I'm gonna follow up with Josh.
Right, but I'm wondering is, rather than waiting for the next meeting,
I would approve them,
approve them pending the.
No, I'm actually,
just we'll approve them.
he's gonna talk no matter what.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if he's, gets the right answer, they may not have to do that.
Then we'll save them.
So we approve them,
But really, you're not gonna say, on the one Cloverdale we made, but if you approve him, he can get going.
yes, right.
Because summer is short.
Right, right. No, that's what I'm saying too.
And then if you approve that, I can give you a cue to have Public Works come in, or not Public Works, WPS remove that utility post.
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna do that until,
The Frontier's gonna have to pass.
well,
Well, see, if that,
or
at the end of the road, if they're using any of that,
they're not,
okay.
the road is abandoned and it's actually condemned.
So then Frontier
Not
just
the house is abandoned.
it's $2,500, right?
you're asking for?
Right.
Yeah, let's make the motion that we approve the $2,500 to have them, to have REI do their staking and their, I can't remember what the other part, there's some extra in staking, those three things.
That's presumed.
That's what we voted.
I'll approve it. I'm sorry, I'll second it.
Okay, motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Any questions that you have about those 2026 road projects? Something that you saw that you weren't aware of, something that you want to add to, that I should be aware of?
The only thing that jumps out at me is, it sounds like you want to turn the road to gravel and let it sit for a year.
That's what Nate's preference would be.
Okay, you're gonna get a lot of complaints. We did that on Rainbow. Oh my God, they pissed.
Because of the dust.
Dust, just constant.
Do I have to have Dustbuster come and like take care of it?
Well, it's, I mean, they can only do so much and yeah, it's expensive, but just be aware, foam is gonna rain steady.
You know what's odd is that Cody and Hanky want to keep it gravel and only Paul Haley wants it blacktop. But I don't know what the people who own all the Hanky's own and then Rowena Bittner, Sharon Bittner is married to Hanky who owns that land, and then there's a Kyle Bittner, one of the nephews owns another little section. And at some point, I think Warren Jacoby's gonna sell his stuff. And if you ever want the most beautiful sunsets, man, just drive on Apple Lane or drive down Apple Lane, it's real pretty. But I don't know who gets the choice of it, if it's blacktop dirt or,
Well, it's,
but it needs a cul-de-sac, because twice they pulled out garbage trucks.
Is it
I'm not saying it's a bad road
But be
to go,
aware,
but be aware.
be aware that they're not going like that. It's pretty messy.
Is it a dirt road now or gravel?
It's dirt with a little, usually they kind of add their own gravel, because it's,
Okay, so because you're talking about putting gravel down, I'm like, what's the road now?
I don't know, I'm
you
not,
should go drive, it's just, you go up 28th Avenue before you get West Fawcett, Apple Lane. It's worth the drive in the
He's
sunset.
talking about when they cut up blacktop, take it
If
out,
you-
put down
if-
gravel for the year.
yeah.
Oh.
I'm not necessarily-
Now
they
they
came
came
down
down
our
our road, cut all of our blacktop out.
Oh, no, it's just a gravel road and
Then it's
it's
not
pretty
gonna be a
hard
big deal.
packed. Okay, no,
Cause
it's hard.
I thought you were taking a break.
Right.
No.
That's the way I heard it too.
They're building a cul-de-sac and then just,
That would
yeah,
not be-
that's a good point though to remember.
Yeah.
Like one thing when we do chip seal, what's something that Jamie had told me, is because like down my road when they did it, my neighbor was pretty bad because she's got this sweet little new convertible. And we didn't know, when you drove on it, but putting like door hangers and letters to letting people know when you're gonna do the chip seal, the chip seal. So some things just to make people aware. All right, so we did some system quotes. Next is the Kerber Rose engagement for the audit. So,
I went through it just for the board to know. The only two issues really that the old ordinance wanted was put in the Hawkins Ash contract was a completion date, no later than a date, and they wanted incorporated the hourly rates. Here, they don't have a completion date per the rows. And secondly, they reference their hourly rates, but they don't tell you what they are. So now the recommendation would be attached as an exhibit. No different than you did, not you, but the previous board.
I'd be against using the Gerber roads. Way back, we had all kinds of problems on finishing stuff, and I'll be opposed to using them.
They're in the middle of a breach right now too. They've had a huge leak, I guess, according to everything that I looked up on it, for a whole bunch of people's files. There's a breach, they're being sued for a breach right now.
Breach of contract?
No, David breach. Hacked, yeah, so.
Kerber Rose or what?
Kerber Roads.
I didn't hear.
So, and I guess I'd like to see a second, proposal.
so Hawkins Ash will decline. They decline, they will not, they won't do the 2025 audit. We can't use CLA because they do have Form C and the PSC report. River Rose, but Jamie said maybe a big utility, which I hadn't heard of before. Very opposed to looking
heard the
into
name,
big
but I-
utility.
I'm not familiar with those, so
Heard the name, but I can't.
no experience.
I'll get on it right away, because what happens is they start doing the school systems, like at the end of June, so they have a little window. They usually start doing villages, like, March, April, and have them done. So now we're hitting up against their last moment to do it. I talked to other villages who use Kerber Rose, some use Kerber Rose, some use CLA. I'll talk to you about the 2019 audit. So.
I just read the contract and those are the two items that were not in this, that were in Hawkins Ash, yes. So, I didn't hear about that. Yeah, I'm
They're trying to
disagreeing
bring
with
a class action together or something against it. There were a lot of people that.
So the previous board approved that there is a 2025 audit included. So we have the money, we have $30,000 set aside for it. And we need to have a 2025.
In other words, this is gonna be your first special meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I want a second price.
So if I can get it from bid utility, we'll probably bring it back in ASAP.
I'm only one for it. I make a motion, we get a second estimate of costs. Is that the right way to say that?
Sure.
Since we're paying change of things.
Or take no action.
Have you done it?
I have not.
And they do municipal
I've
audits.
heard of,
I believe they do.
I've heard of them,
Heard of them.
I didn't know they did municipal audits.
Stratford.
They do Stratford's.
All right, I will reach out to them tomorrow.
Oh, wait,
You can
I don't know
take, you
yet.
don't, I mean, the agenda item is the the Kerber Rose engagement, just, I would recommend just take no action.
Take no action, that's fine. I reckon, or do you have to make a motion that you take no action?
No.
Just take no action.
Just rescind your motion.
No, there's no second.
Yeah.
26.
Okay. Approve monthly vouchers for payment. Then you said you had some questions, comments?
Yeah, they might go back and forth a little bit with what I was looking at in the budget for actual, but I'll try to do this relatively painlessly. So if you go to the Northwinds inspection, the zoning legal, page number, page 9, sorry. Thank you. Yeah, page 9. There's two parts actually. There's network professionals, the computer and software that we okayed. And we also see that later that they have set up for the computer and software too. I thought that was all part of the purchase. Because later in our vouchers, there it is. Let's see if I can find it here real quick. Let's do that one. It's on page 14, and it says, software, clerk treasurer, computer software, board computer software, clerk treasurer, computer software. Are those different ones?
Yeah, well, that's on page 14, that they do a monthly bill
Okay.
for,
Oh,
yes.
yeah, okay, all right, that was I was just wondering as if it went twice, so. And then Northwinds for the zoning legal on page 9 again, it shows 4,500 and our budget shows that we have 4,943 left as of the detail dated 6/4. So is that 6/4, is that detail that we have earlier, the budget detail? Has this already been taken out of that? It has, so we still have 46.
Yep, so I ran, even though I printed that budget report on 6/4, I told the system to run it as a 6/8. So everything just,
Everything's on there. Well, that might answer a lot of these questions, so. 15, again, it showed, on page 15 for the seal coating, it showed 6,050 left in the budget. But I think all of this is probably gonna be nil because you've already taken the money.
All of you, yeah.
So legal, we showed 12 left in legal. I'm sorry, that should have been my first question. Actually, that was it for that. That was it. So it was only like, there were a couple of them that were just weird. So, and I was like, we're out of money on that already. And if you go back and look at our money that we have allocated in the budgets and it's gone, where are we getting that money from, Judith? That's where I was, so when you said $79,000 that we have that, I'm like, well, no, actually, what I come up with, we have about 50,000 when I went through my stuff, but now I'm, okay. Sorry. That
No,
was my
don't be
question.
sorry. It's good that you bring up these questions and go through this. That's the way it should be.
Should have sent an email to Jamie, asking what to say. All that pain.
Anybody else? Any other questions?
Something unusual.
Anybody else?
Why are some manual checks? Why are some notaries manual checks?
So anything that is a check from the payroll system, when I interface it and tell the accounting software that, okay, this happened, it's a manual check because you're not reprinting the check. And then there are some that, like say, Wisconsin Public Service, I've started paying those online because otherwise by the time that we have the board meeting, checks are signed, they're late.
Yeah.
So doing an online payment, I have to enter it in the system yet as a check. So it shows that it's made over, so I'm not printing it.
Okay, I understand, thank you.
Any other questions for Jamie? Next, we have a discussion to approve monthly vouchers for payment.
I'd make a motion that we approve them.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yep, so roll call vote on that, Dan,
Aye.
Judith,
Aye.
Bruce.
Aye.
Ben,
Aye.
Bus.
Aye.
Thank you.
Number 26, new business. Now, Dana, you had some things about, do you want to bring it up?
Sure, we can do it. Brokaw, so me and Judith went down and they needed, Terex needs water, or they want water out of that building to be able to use to wash down their trucks, garbage, whatever we gotta do over there. So she had me come down to make sure it was even possible. When we were down there, the water's still left on the building, power's still left on the things, all this other stuff is still there. So I went through and turned it all off and like made sure it was that way. We need to put a separate meter there that we just meter them. And they're gonna take care of all this. They're gonna get a bid for it and stuff like that. And we're gonna bring this up on the next meeting, right? To approve it. But I'd like to be involved to just show them, you know, this is what I want, you know, so that they don't bid it to just tap into the pipe that's right there and run it out the wall, okay? Second thing was, the trustee channel found an old generator behind that building in Brokaw, redid it, made it really nice, it looks awesome, it's a pull behind, it's probably a $20,000 generator. So the fire department needs that, and the water department needs it. We need to do something in our budget coming up, I believe, to set aside something in case trustee channel isn't there to service it or maintain it. We said it'd do it extremely cheap right now, just to help out the village. But I think we need that to be an item in the budget going forward to keep that in good shape, because they have to be running. Lastly, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff down there in the Brokaw Hall.
to bring up, so, I
That's a
think we
really
could do
positive
some
word, he
really
said cool stuff, just so you all know.
Yeah, it's really neat. It's some neat, well, my grandpa homesteaded right across the road from the mill there. He homesteaded that 80 acres. And I know there's pictures of him down there and stuff, but there's pictures of people from our community in there that I think would just be cool to somehow figure out some way to display. You know what I mean? Because they're just sitting in boxes in a basement down there.
Like wedding pictures.
And there's a bunch of envelopes that can be used here, boxes of them that can be used, Jamie can use them, they're just windowed envelopes with nothing on them. I mean, there's probably 20,000 of them. We'd never have to buy them again.
If I don't stick anymore.
Well, you get that little wipe on stuff, right? Bring them here, I don't know.
Things with paper towel. I mean, there's,
Pennies, yeah, it's
there's, I
saving
don't know,
pennies.
if anybody
So
wants
those are the
those type
three-
of copy machines, there's
Three items.
shredders, there's.
Jamie and I, you and Paul,
Those three items.
Those three items would be great.
yeah, Jensen.
You had mentioned to me that you wanted to know if you can go through the public works building and you found like some
Oh,
plumbing type fixtures and if there could be some sort of a unused items that we don't need, do a yard sale.
Is there a way
just
that we can
clean
sell-
up? Like, is that a
because
possibility?
there's all kinds of saleable stuff sitting in there that nobody's gonna use, that, you know, like manholes and
I think
manhole
that
covers
tails
that
into
are
the whole
never been used.
conversation about getting the stuff out of there, what you do with it, if you don't want it.
Public Works did a great job cleaning the other side out.
Yeah.
And now they have the plows all lined up, they're really nice, I mean, it's not the same building, but the other side that has water damage.
Yeah.
But there's some things that are valuable, if not, you can get money for the metal.
Yeah, and there's generators there that, you
There
know,
are
just,
small generators.
there's all kinds of, you'd be shocked if you get a chance to see, you'd be stunned. There's a lot of money sitting there that's just gonna rust away if we don't do something with it. And, I know it's out of town, but I
There's
wouldn't
little
mind.
like animal cages, we thought.
Yeah, there's some, there's catching squirrels and stuff.
But anyway, so what do you do, so I guess that's for the next.
Yes.
Roll call, village hall and public works buildings, yard sale.
Discussions.
Maybe we should go on a field trip before the meeting and see what we're talking about.
Yeah,
I would
you'd
love to do that.
Maybe
Have you been down there lately?
Not lately, it's been.
If you want to meet early, like at 5:30 or something,
That goes to the next agenda.
next board of trustees meeting.
Jamie, I'm trying to push to 28. I'm holding us back on 26.
We do also need to meet before the end of June for liquor license renewal approvals. Because I recently found out that the businesses did not get the renewal documentation, so I dropped paperwork off on Thursday, I think, so their current license expires June 30th. So we do need to approve the renewal documentation, which like
We have a
real estate.
special meeting coming up. You want to have it when the regular board is supposed to meet? You guys want to look at them right now and tell me when you're available?
If that is good, then I'm just,
As long as we're okay to have
wow.
the stuff in the right.
I see my budget number.
I'm watching you.
So-
I've got one more agenda, one more new business.
Oh, okay, we want to go ahead and do that before we go to 27. Let's stay on the new business 26 West.
So I think we need to visit Lincoln County Humane Society contract
We do.
and figure that out.
I need your help with that because I've been going back and forth with them.
Yeah,
And can I talk to you after about that? Because I'm a little confused.
okay.
Okay.
And the next meeting, if we do that, we do the 22nd.
If we can do it Tuesday, I can be here.
Okay.
You mean this coming Tuesday?
No, the 23rd.
23rd.
So the 22nd.
I'm okay with the 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Ben?
I'm good.
Tuesday the 23rd? Do you want to do 5:30 and go down the protocol first? Because the meeting should be at 6 for the public. Been there, done that? Does anybody else want to go down and take
That
it?
would work.
Or Wes, I can take you, maybe. I can.
That would work
Yeah,
though.
we'll just work it out.
Okay.
We'll just make it sense.
If it's only gonna be two of them, but anyone else wants to go, I would recommend putting it in, and if you don't show, you don't show.
So do you want the work best stuff in the June meeting or July meeting?
I think you can wait till July.
Yeah.
We got.
That's what we said, July.
July 8th, I think it is. Is the next meeting.
Also, just a reminder, people are asking their elders.
We need that as an agenda item of how you, okay, agenda item is how you want me to do your time sheet. So looking at that, we should go to the website.
Yeah, we still, did you get a hold of that again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got something coming.
Yeah. But I'll just bring those, you still can bring them up until the Monday
Yeah.
before the next meeting, so if you have
No,
something
It
else.
was just a reminder, something
Yeah.
like said,
Yeah.
They like on the door, president's hours are, whatever.
And then the things we tabled, like, you want to compare the quote from Soundwood, so that'll come up in July.
Yeah, yeah. Jamie, do you have that? Down,
I
is
can
that,
send it to
is that a
you.
Word doc, or is it PDF?
I can make the word back.
I can make a Word doc. So, great, better. Matt,
Did you
Matt, did you create it as a Word doc or?
It's Word, yeah.
Huh?
It's a Word document.
Is it Word doc, can you email it to me?
Yeah.
Okay, that'll make it easier for me to take all the proprietary stuff out of there, and then I can take it down to someone. Appreciate it, Matt.
Any other things that you want to have on the agenda for next week for new business? The June 23rd one besides the organizing.
Jamie, I will do it at 5:30, just in case Ben or somebody wants to go too. You don't have to go.
Then they're walking for.
No, that's why I want, see, that's what I'm trying to avoid, is you put it on the agenda. So if you decide to leave early from work and want to show up, you can.
So they've seen it on singular occasions. Do you want to see them? Otherwise, I can.
So they're put it on.
Check with Nate, see if they want to.
Okay.
Remember we talked about it?
Yeah.
I mean, we got a refrigerator down there. I thought if the guys at Public Works want it up here, they can go haul it in and plug it in. Make some use of it.
Too much more discussion.
Right, okay, good. Anything else? We have a next board meeting, is gonna be on the Tuesday, the 23rd at 5:30. We will be back up here at 6.
Is it possible to do a liquor license up here first and then do your tour?
Can we do that?
You can do whatever you want,
I
as
like
long
that
as you got
better.
it on the agenda.
Then we don't have to be rushed, and then you guys can walk through the public works and the hall to
Then
meet
you
at
can bring a
6.
motion to adjourn down there. Yeah, I know, you're gonna go.
Or I could just meet with them separately, but if he has time at 2.
Or you can have the village president take minutes
If
for
it's
you.
getting complicated, we can just make some.
So she's gonna do the liquor licenses at 5:30 then. You'll have to take minutes on your.
Okay.
We can get food done.
I could tell, that's it.
I've seen.
All right, anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to second it, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
I go the whole week.